Talking about Papa. Then a second. Since my sister pay the price, I'm living by. Since I was taking. Living another day inside. Yeah. When I see, think of my very life. Bricks by me. Yeah, take me to the fifth down the Astor Place. Let me see the shin on the bastard's face. Coming from the kin of the master race. Next to Nipsey in the master's race. I know the code, so I crack the safe. Bury me with Sabi in the casket lay. And we own her, so our bastard's safe. Bury me a silver with the cat on waist. Victory is sweeter than the aftertaste. First you did it darker, then you see the rhyme. Nah. And my man and I read a ride. Struggle on the path, but I didn't even ride. Struggle on the path, but I didn't side. When I see. All right. There you have it. There you have it. Kambata off of the critically acclaimed album LSD. Make sure y'all have that in your playlist. That is contender. It's top contender for the album of the year, hands down. You know,
Facts.
shout out to Nas with the King's Disease. You know, I'm feeling that King energy, that Kang energy. But you know, psychedelic rap still wins, undefeated.
Undefeated.
Peace, my good brother Blue Pillar in the building.
Yes,
Welcome.
indeed.
All right.
Peace, love, and light. Shout out to you. Shout out to the audience. Shout out to the upcoming panel, whoever taps in and comes through.
Yes,
Shout out
yes,
to Cambada. Shout out to that amazing
yes.
project. Shout out to his team. Shout
Shout
out
out
to
to
person.
Father Rich.
Shout out to Father
For
Rich
cook.
for lacing y'all with that beat.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, yeah. Shout out to the anticipation of the remix with yours truly. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, that's right. Talk your talk.
let's
You
talk about
know,
it.
talk
You
your
feel me?
talk. Yo, we have some orthodoxy and VVS fans that are some real die-hard twin pillar. Like they love them some orthodoxy and VVS, bro. And I love it. You know what I'm talking about? It
You
just
know, it speaks to the fact that you're always attempting to do your thing, and I think that what the audience, you feel me, continuously wants is the chemistry that we both exemplify as a unit. You feel me? So the exchange and the interplay that we are both able to generate
yeah,
as
yeah.
the pillars. You feel me? I think that those two songs, outside of the title track for Twin, that was
Mm-hmm.
the closest that they seen us come to going, Ray and Ghost or Jada and Styles.
Right, right.
Mhm.
And I
They're the
remember
song
that
that
session.
has the song has, yeah, remember the session? The song has an amazing energy on it. We recorded both of those songs that night.
Yep, we did both of those back to back in
And
Brooklyn.
VVS was almost a miss. I was messing up because it was late. I think we had bad weed in that session. It was just dragging, right?
Yeah, it wasn't strong enough.
And yeah, like I caught that like 4 a.m. That was one of them 4:30 a.m. Like, nah, let me get back in. And I knocked it. You feel me? I got my thing
Word.
together. So I remember that. I remember that session. It was a
Yeah.
magical, it was one of those very late night sessions.
Well,
But
honestly, it was the session that put our project back on recording again. That was the first time we had got back in the booth after Scorpion King, I believe. And that started the process that started Twin the album, which wasn't planned on being Twin the album. Shout out to Black Dot in the building, first of all.
oh,
Let me
absolutely.
not
Shout out
even,
to
yeah.
Black Dot.
Shout out
Shout
to
out to
Dot.
Urban X. Look,
Shout out, yeah, Urban X in the
and
building.
shout out to it's
The
Virgo season.
legends.
Shout out to the Virgos. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Yes, yes.
Urban X is a staple in my household, right? Because my
Mine's as
lady's a
well.
Virgo, right? So she informed me today, even this morning, she's like, not only that, she said Malcolm's a Virgo. So
That's heavy Virgo energy.
yeah, the Virgos stick together. So I just not too long ago, I just got finished looking at the latest Urban X episode, which they streamed on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier today, I was about to text Black Dot and be like, "Where's that Oba episode?" Because I seen the notification come up.
Yeah, I was watching it live. Shout out to
Oh,
Oba.
shout
Yeah,
out to
shout out to
Oba.
Oba. Shout out, and Oba has a children's book out, y'all. Make sure y'all tap into
Word.
brother Oba. Yes, he went in and he has a children's book translated in 3 languages, and this
Wow.
is a book about the magical systems. So for all of the babies and all of the young gods and the little Herus and the star seeds who are going to be homeschooled this year, this is the year where the conscious parents get to mold their children into a better version of themselves. Somehow this has happened. Somehow this has, so the excuse of, I was trying to tell young Heru about the pills and I was trying to teach him about, Malcolm X and Marcus Garvey, but I just couldn't get through to them. Well, now they're in your care. The school has said we're going to teach them via computer. So there's a way for us to, we have to hack our way into educating the youth with this with information about who they are.
Um, yeah, and 2020 is the year of exposure. You know what I'm saying? It's the year that the lights come on and you get to see everything for what it is. So a lot of people was talking that talk. Man, if I had the opportunity, you know what I'm saying, to teach
Yeah.
my seeds from home or spend more time with my babies, all the shit that people put out into the universe made good on. The people didn't make good on their end of the bargain.
Yo, it was
Because the
people with that,
universe was like this. You know what I
right,
mean?
with the no
Behind the
look
back,
pass.
the no
Yeah,
look
look,
past
they closed down it. They shut the NBA down. They shut NFL and MBA, Major League Baseball, and the universe start playing the game. And they was throwing you no look passes. They were giving you Luca D. What's his name? What's my dude in Dallas? Luca. They was giving you no Luca passes. They was giving you Vladi Divac 3 pointers with the PPP check. They were giving you
Look,
all of these assists out of nowhere. The universe started playing the game with you, right? And some people is getting dunked on. Some people are missing the passes that are being thrown their way.
some people they committing to Patrick Ewing's, right?
They doing the Ewans. You know what I'm
Missing
talking about? What missing
banging it
a
off the rim. Yeah,
banging it
like
off the rim, you know, breaking ankle. These niggas is doing Iverson MJ ankle
Jordan.
breaking.
Yeah.
The Iverson Jordan 52 fake outs.
So
So oh, somebody said, could we drop the name of the author? The name of the author is Brother Oba, and that's OBA, one
yes.
of the KTL alumni, Brother Oba.
How do they tap in? Because I know, previously you would have to DM the brother Is there anything? Is there any other way to access
Oh,
this?
well, if Dot is in the building, if he has the information, if you put it in the chat room, I'll throw it on the screen.
Yeah.
Let's
So
talk about.
wait. Before we let
Yes.
me talk about Oba just a little bit more because we don't have enough of an opportunity to do it.
Let's
You know
do
what I'm
that.
saying? And we have to speak about those amongst us that are the special ones. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right. SD.
So we were listening to the old Oba interview this morning when we couldn't find the latest one. We started playing one from when he came on Urban X when he dropped.
The book, the water,
Yeah, let me go
water,
grab.
the candle.
Yeah,
And that was right after the lecture you and AA did in Atlanta.
was it before or after?
Now remember, he came down there. He had the book. He debuted the book in Atlanta, and then he went on Urban Next right after that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the book right here, y'all. Right? A glass of water and a candle. And again, hearing Oba speak with the simplicity that he speaks to, but he's able to cut through the algorithm because he compacts so much in those blurts. You know what I'm saying? The
Yes.
anecdotal way that he speaks is so nourishing for the soul, especially if you're on a journey to learn. And he's unabashed in the way that he chops down BS. You feel me?
Right.
So it's always a refresher, you know what I'm saying, to hear that brother. And I highly recommend the audience to go into the archive. You could go into Urban Nexus archive and listen to anything that this brother has done, you know what I'm saying, in the media. Oba, you could go to Nodalez Radio and listen to the archives that we have with him on KTL Radio as well. So shout
That's
out
right.
to Oba, shout out to AA, shout out to Raku, shout out to Buddha Clinks. You know what I'm saying?
Will
These are all
777.
Yeah, this is the unorthodox starting five that will bury any team out there. You feel me?
Man,
yeah,
that's like a mystical starting five, yo. That's a quantum. That's quantum. That's quantum computer. D wave versus D Wade. How about that?
so
Let's
not even do
let's start. Let's look. We have a special guest in the building, so I want to open up the floodgates. I want to set up the pillars and welcome in our first guests for this evening. We're going to set the table. Tonight is Saturday Night Live or Saturn DAYZ Night Live. This is not Joe Piscopo, and this is definitely not Eddie Murphy, pause, but it's the red pillar and the blue pillar, the twin pillars. And we present to you, without any further ado, a former alien, our brother, your brother, Cam Bata.
Yo. What's up, dude?
Right.
This is my first time seeing my face in about 3 weeks, dude.
Right. Exactly. Reflection.
Yes, peace, brothers. Good seeing y'all, man. Blue, red, man. Miss you guys, man. Yes,
Yeah.
man.
Likewise, brother. I miss you as well.
I'm gonna eat one just because of that, bro.
Oh yeah. You know, once my face comes up, that automatically spikes those psilocybin endorphins, man. So
that's Mario World.
Yeah.
That's Mario World. You know, like in Super Mario Brothers, when it's little Mario and he's going through and he hits a mushroom and he turns into Big Mario.
Yeah.
When Cambada puffs, when he popped up, all of the mushrooms popped up. We turned into Big Mario.
That's dude. I don't know what it is.
Mario.
I got a mason jar in the back room right now, filled up with God's favorite little special children, man. You know,
the little one.
You know,
we're gonna get into that tonight. We're gonna speak about the magic of the mushroom, the psilocybin, the the answer into the alternative that I believe to marijuana abuse, right? I want to speak about it as an alternative, you know, to the abuse that people have been giving themselves with what we found out to be is a chemical agent. One, something that has been completely GMO'd, and government, you know, the government has tinkered and tweaked our favorite plant.
Yeah, they don't.
So we're gonna have that conversation.
Rolling right now. Is this not a good? Is your program smoke free? Is that?
What do you mean?
This is not
Saturday. This is Saturn DAYZ Night Live. So on Saturn, we are Saturn tonight. So we do what Saturnian people do. This is not smoke free. Smoke your head off.
Well, the thing is, because you're talking about literally the government agents aspect of this 100% validated and verified GMO product that I'm indulging.
Right. You're in a legal growth state. Yeah, exactly. But as long as you're in a legal growth state, you're good. You know what I'm talking about? We're on the internet.
Oh yeah, yeah, all legal, like, you know.
We do have another special guest in the building tonight. I want to balance the scales, and I want to introduce what has been needed in a lot of our conversations, and that's the divine feminine energy. You know what I'm talking about? So I want to open up the platform. I want to open up the stage to our sister out of Oakland, California, town business, right? Also another ATL alumni. Sister was with us 8 years ago on a classic show called From Ghetto to Goddess, right? And ever since then, she's been making many waves around the world, in Africa, on the continent, in America, on the West Coast, on the East Coast, in the South. Sister Amina, one of the special guests, is going to be turning up in the ATL, doing it real big alongside Cambada, alongside the Twin Pillars. All right. So without any further ado, let me open up the floor for Sister Amina.
Peace and love. Peace and love. All my brothers, how y'all doing?
We in the building.
Greetings.
Yes, we're doing great.
Amina.
Yaramin. You already know. Sister Amina from Ghetto to Goddess, coming to y'all from Oakland to the world. Ashe.
Right.
That's right. Killmonger was right. You
know, we had to represent. You already know. So good to see y'all. Oh my God.
Yes, likewise. It is
good to meet you.
And good to meet you too. I met you through your music, you know, rocking with the pillars. That's inevitable. You know, they always are sharing the goodness that you share. So good to link with you on here live and direct.
Thank you. That means the world. Thank you.
That's right.
Peace and love to everybody joining us live out in the universe.
Yes.
No doubt. Please introduce yourself to the family. I'm assuming that everyone that's watching this may not be familiar with who you are. So let them know who you are.
Right on. Well, thank you for the introduction that you gave. I was like, wow, Ashe, I love that. And it's all facts. It's amazing that we did that interview. Like, Blue, I was just listening to the interview that we did Friday the 13th, January 2012.
Wow.
And it was the episode right after Blue Ivy was born.
Right. Whew, that's crazy.
Deep things happening with the law of the 44. And just a lot of topics that we covered 8 years ago on Friday the 13th and the portal that was opened up. Listening to that now in the state of where everything is in the world, in the state of where everything is in our lives and what we've all been able to do since that time, and the state of where our people need to be, it just put a lot into perspective. And it was just like, dang, it's deep, this journey we're on, and us all being aligned to our mission and continuing to work to bring that in fruition. So
Yes,
it's,
yes.
I just had to say that to all the audience out there. You just Google From Ghetto to Goddess KTL, that episode. It will just put a lot in perspective. And I think also it will help people to understand that a lot of the knowledge that you all are bringing and that a lot of our so-called alternative information oriented members of our community are bringing is right in alignment with actually what's going on. Because a lot of what we're experiencing right now here live and direct, we've all known that. We've all shown that. But a lot of people want to say, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist or whatever, when I know plenty of people who have been serving real time for conspiracy charges. So that must mean if it's a conspiracy about something, that doesn't automatically mean it's a lie.
Right.
So
If
I
it gets federal time, shit.
Yeah,
exactly.
there's more people in the feds for conspiracy than anything else.
Right.
I just wanted to add on one thing real quick, that the Node Alleged Radio Archive is similar to what GitHub is for coders. It's a data bank. It's an archive. It's like what GitHub is. You know how you go to GitHub and you can find the origins of certain algorithms. You could find out, that's like almost the headquarters of where they keep all of this information. So archives as rich as Node Alleged Radio with those 700 episodes, man. When you dive into those, you realize that reality is not haphazard. It is what the universe said it is. It's cause and effect. So if you're able to do enough research, it's a construct. It's a formula. Nothing is happening that wasn't predicted to happen. So when you go back into those episodes, whether it's 10 years ago, 8 years ago, you're gonna get you're gonna get some downloads.
All the way. And just
all the way.
Like, I just really wanted to help put that in perspective, especially for people who are just joining the family and just coming into consciousness, because it can happen at any time in our journey.
Facts.
We have a lot of doubt, and people have a lot of resources to be able to throw shade and cast doubt and, make it seem like things and concepts that we're talking about are just crazy, but the proof is in the pudding. The proof is in our reality right now. So definitely encouraging everyone to just dive into those banks, because that is a blessing. But to answer your initial question, though,
right.
I am Sister Irina. I like to just call myself a global change maker, artist, educator, and cultural ambassador. Many people who know me, you see me doing a lot of different things. And those of you who are getting to know me, you're going to see me doing a lot of different things that are all in the umbrella of the overall mission From Ghetto to Goddess. And that is a testament to my life journey. People who know me, part of my story and just how I've been able to transverse in the different levels of the Black experience. And when I'm saying from ghetto to goddess, I'm meaning our condition of subjugation. We were placed in the ghetto due to certain circumstances that we know as enslavement, colonialism, Jim Crow, racism, white supremacy, the crack cocaine epidemic, socioeconomic enslavement, neocolonialism, redlining, exactly, gentrification, so many different ways. And we don't really understand that a lot of what we call Black culture is actually our collective response to trauma. That's what we now know, and that's what we are. That we also have a lot of jewels that we brought over here from traditional African culture and from our civilizations that have been in existence for thousands and millions of years. And so we're at a crucial time right now where it's very important for us to look in what we identify as our collective way of being as Black African people here in America, indigenous, whatever label you want to call, who we are. So whatever level of that, it's very important for us to analyze and weigh. And we need to be having this discussion of what is this that is our culture, that's for our elevation, and what's happening that is for our domination and our denigration, and not confuse that, because I'm seeing a lot of confusion where just because you love who we are as Black people, we're just accepting all of the baggage and just everything and saying, this is my identity. I'm from the streets, nigga. This is what we do. This is my hood. All of that. Let's elevate that. It's good for us to have unity. It's good for us to have an identity. It's not good for us to take on things. And now, you know, you have people who listen to trap, they're going to be grandparents and living that lifestyle that is promoted. You're going to be grandparents. So what is your grandchild going to look like? You know what I'm saying?
No,
like, we got to have this conversation.
I don't want to cut your wisdom. There are trap grandparents already. We know some of them, people that we grew up with.
Too.
Yeah,
it might be in my family.
That's right. People my age are grandparents right now. I'm dead serious. And they trapping. They in the trap. They trap music all day. They was in the trap museum with the whole family. They skipped Disney and went to the trap museum.
Yes.
Facts.
So, yeah, it's already starting.
What does that mean? Like, for real. Because we were in Atlanta at the time when a lot of this stuff was crystallizing into what it is now, where there can be a trap museum and there can be trap courses now taught at university.
Let's have this conversation, Sister Amina, because
attacking the negative aspects of that.
Yes. I want to have a brief conversation about the history of Atlanta. There's not too many people that I could speak to who could recollect what was going on in Atlanta during the BMF era, right? And I bring up that era a lot on this show because culturally, I'm attempting to paint pictures to give people when cultural resets took place. So I speak about the tunnel era and I speak about the BMF era as a cultural reset, and how this modern day iteration of hip hop with the bando music, the trap music, the whole culture, everything that you're seeing, people hopping out of foreigns, you know, the proliferation of the coke, all of this stems out of the whole BMF wave. You know what I mean? Added on to, you know, other eras and whatnot. So can you speak about how Atlanta was during that era and what it did to change the landscape?
Yes. Wow. It's just even that question is bringing back memories. To speak to that, I first want to give everyone a clearer picture of who I am and where I even am qualified, where I have gotten the credentials to share that history, because that is what I live. That's my lived experience. So y'all see me, I'm, you know, coming from my hometown, Oakland, feel me, town business all the way, you already know. However, I, you know, going through school, I made it through a lot of challenges, became a student leader. I was student body president of my high school, top of my class, had several colleges in my sight, and I chose Spelman to come to Atlanta to go to college in 2004. I graduated from high school in 2004. I was a grade ahead, so I had actually just turned 17 before I left. So Atlanta 2004 was when BMF was really at its, you know, pinnacle in terms of being at the absolute top of anybody's best trap dream. They was living that all the way. I mean, things I never imagined I would see or experience, or that was really real. I was like, whoa, this is amazing. It just took everything, you know, I would grow up seeing in all my favorite videos on 106 in Park and TRL, and what all the rappers with DAYZ was talking about, and what, you know, all these lifestyles that were promoted. I actually am like, whoa, I'm seeing this is wild. So it totally blew my mind and a lot of people's minds. But I come to Atlanta at 17, college student. I happened to get my hands on a fake ID Probably within the first month or two of me coming out there, I definitely looked, very grown and did a great job acting like I was grown too, because I thought I was grown at the time because I was out of my mama house. And the first real club experience that I had on tour, that year he was on tour with, it was DAYZ and R. Kelly. That was like the great of the great going on. And then
Bring
DAYZ
it
and R. Kelly. Right.
Look,
exactly.
full circle.
Okay. Right. Speaks for itself with all of that. You see where DAYZ is, you see where R. Kelly is. This is even when that started happening.
Kelly.
Wow. So they fell out on the tour. And then it became DAYZ and Friends. So everybody, who's anybody now is trying, they own. It's on. So in Atlanta at that time, it was going down. It was DAYZ and everybody. So I didn't go to the concert, but I was able to get to the after party at Visions, which Visions is now a high rise. They may have even reopened another club named Vision, but this is when AG Entertainment, Alex Goodwin, and all of them, that's when they was all, it all came up together. So they was all popping off too. So I go to Visions, DAYZ and Friends, every celebrity I could think of that I loved in my life, I saw that night. Everybody is partying, but then all of a sudden out of nowhere, it's like about 100 dudes, all black dudes, white tees, some with black tees. A lot had shirts that had BMF on the back. Everybody has on diamond iced out, you know what I'm saying? They're bringing Cristal to them by the box. When they come in, they just took over the whole club. They're standing on top of the bar drinking. It was just like, whoa, like I'm seeing Meech, J-Bo, Ills, all of those are all the top leadership of the organization. They were all like, right. And I'm just like, whoa, this is, I'm blown. So that is the introduction to just even being aware of who they were, because I'm like, what is this? What's going on? At that time in Atlanta, when you were coming into Atlanta from the airport, on the side of the road where like the big billboards are, they have whole billboards there. The world is ours, BMF, the logo. They got pictures of Meech, J-Bo, Ills, Blue Da Vinci on the side of the freeways, mobbed up, you know what I'm saying? Totally bossed up. When they pull up, you will see 30 extremely luxury cars like Lambo, Rolls Royces, Hummers, G-Wagons, a tour bus. I mean, it's just like you see 30 all black, and then you see them all get out, iced out. Then you see, it's like, what is going on? Whoa, so I was blown. I was completely taken away, swept up, razzle dazzle. All that was somebody at that time, and a lot of people are somebody now. They were all there. So after that, every time I would go anywhere, it's some continuum of that energy. And of anywhere you go, BMF was like, when they showed up, it's just shutting everything down. So I wound up, was dating 2 different members of the organization, who, I'm not going to speak on who or whatever, because that is what it is. But in that time of being able to be in and around everything that's going on, and then also just seeing them when I wasn't dealing with people who were associated, the culture of Atlanta was created and funneled and funded, and the lifestyle, everything. I remember the first time that I went to Magic City, as soon as we walked in the door, they literally, we stepped in the door, they are immediately, it's thundering. They threw 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. I'm growing up, I'm used to seeing my parents make $2,000, $3,000 a month. You feel me? Somebody give you $100 in the hood, that's gonna make your whole year. I'm seeing people around me getting killed for a couple $100. I'm seeing my friends around me getting 10, 15 years as teenagers for robbing a store for $300-$400. And then I'm in Atlanta a few months later, and I'm seeing like literally girls were bagging up money in huge garbage bags. It's like up to their ankles, knees. It's just more, just all around every night. Everybody's champagne, everything. But what it took me a while to understand too is that once I got deeper into the lifestyle and just into the different experiences, a lot of people, that's when e-pills really became very popular. Very, like, I didn't realize a lot of people was partying every day because they was on E. I mean, it was like, whoa, and they would be rolling till about 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, so that really became the lifestyle where every night you going out during the day, you either going shopping or people, go on missions, whatever. But it just really like set a whole culture. And even just how I feel like in the 90s, when it was the Freaknik era in Atlanta, the strip clubs was more, that was the booty club, what they call it. And it was more like people going there to have fun, have a good time, whatever. BMF culture, I saw that change to now it is like a continuous display of your alleged power, your wealth, your impact, who you are as a person. You're making that imprint in what you do in a strip club and making it rain and popping bottles in, like making it like, this is who I am, it's what I am. And then also what I saw, because in my own journey and going through that, almost caught in the crossfires of a shootout that happened in the parking lot. That the person I was with actually was one of the main people in that. And I had actually a crazy situation where I had been dating one person because the organization had folks from all over, as people know. So you got your New York branch, you got your Detroit branch, you got your LA, you have your Atlanta, you have your people from Chicago, you got the people from Texas. I mean, it's like, so each one, from what I saw, was like different chiefs. And then like you could see Meech in that class of leadership, like they're the kings and like the high chiefs. But it's also all these other ones that are like feeding into this ocean. Right. So I was dating someone that was from one area, and then they had wound up, I found out like later, I didn't know what happened, but they had wound up getting locked up for something. And in between the time of me not knowing what happened and just, I was 18, you know what I'm saying? I'm doing me. Mm-hmm. I wound up meeting and dating someone from another geographic area who, when I went to Magic City, the first person that I had been dealing with had got out and came to the club that night and saw me there with the other person. So I'm actually in the car, we're about to leave, and everybody is, outside talking in the parking lot. And then the dude who I was previously dating came and got in the back seat, like snuck in there, like, yo, so what you doing? I'm like, not really even, I'm just really stuck. Like, whoa, okay, let's try to get this clear. The shootout starts happening maybe 20 feet in front of me and him in the other guy's car. So I see, things going on in front of me. We ducking, whatever. I'm trying to figure out how to even get out of there. And then next thing, I mean, everything is going down with the shooting. The other dude gets in the car to drive away. So it's all three of us together. getting away from the scene, you know what I'm saying, having a whole that, you know, that was a whole episode in itself, but I clearly was able to make it out of it. But I want to tell that story because the person who was the driver wound up having a 9-year sentence when it was all said and done after they got taken down. And the person who I was first talking to wound up getting killed, got assassinated right before the whole takedown happened. And so there were a lot of glamorous things that they were able to do. They, you know, they had a whole magazine, the Juice magazine, that really was the Instagram and before Instagram and the Snapchat before Snapchat in terms of covering, you know, what was happening and everybody that was doing what. And most people that we see that are, you know, really forces, not just in Atlanta, but in this hip hop culture, it comes from that era. And a lot of people I saw with my own eyes. I was there, you know what I'm saying? I just happened, like the universe put me right in the thick of things when Young Jeezy was really coming up, and really when his mixtape first happened, and just how trap culture was happening and developing in Atlanta, you know, seeing the whole Grand Hustle TI, that camp, being able to, you know, see the ludicrous DTP, you know, when it was Titty Boy before 2 Chainz, and then play a circle, and then you get 2 Chainz, and like what that represents, you know what I'm saying? Being able to be around and see Rick Ross and the whole Miami situation, and you know how that has influenced things. Gucci Man, and seeing, you know, when he was with Big Cat Records and LaFleur, and what that really meant when him and Jeezy had the beef, and what that meant in regards to BMF, and you know, looking at Bun B, Pimp C, so many elements that have now shaped what we know as a culture. Like all of that was mixed into that era, and even how people, with the, you know, a lot of the youth who were looking at that, like people like I would say the Migos and things like that, Future,
Little Baby.
that people were living at that time. The issue, and you know, with this whole strip rap culture that has happened and came about, that is directly related to that. And in myself, I wound up getting totally wrapped up, sucked in, and you know, getting used to a certain lifestyle with the people I was dating, and then seeing everything whoop, crash, burn, oh, it's going crazy. But me being so deeply ingrained into that mindset and that ideal, and that energy, that I completely lost sight of why I was in Atlanta in school, what my destiny, my purpose was, what is the true reality of how that relates to us as a people. You know what I'm saying? Like it really hit home for me when I was dealing with somebody who was an Atlanta trapper, and then his basically like I don't want to say crackhead, but his drug addicted personal servant, who was basically like his main person in the trap, really.
It's Pookie.
Yeah. I'm trying to,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying, not disrespect the brother, because he clearly had a chemical dependency issue, right? But he was his main person. He was the father of Lil Roscoe, who Lil Roscoe was like a main kind of young teenage character that was on a lot of Jeezy's first mixtapes, that was, you know, promoting the whole BMF thing. Like, and he was a little youngster, maybe, I don't know, he looked 14, 15, but he was running with all the big dogs. He was basically like kind of their mascot on a lot of stuff. And they used
Roscoe's an old man's name. Like every man I know named Roscoe. My name Roscoe.
Remember Martin?
You know,
Martin Lawrence.
right. Exactly.
Chicken and waffles
Exactly.
is a meal that's made by older hands. So little Roscoe gotta be with the older men, you know.
But the little dude, Lil Roscoe, I'm seeing him living it up, popping bottles with the bosses, But then I'm also getting faced with the impact that what they are bringing with moving all that weight and everything, what that's having on the community. And that was one of the first times that it just kind of, I don't know, you get desensitized. Like, we don't really understand, like, the crackhead that's asking you for dollars on the street is impacted by all the work that you sell in to be able to make it rain and do all these things that you allegedly think you can do because it's promoted through a lot of our music that's the way for us to make it. That's the way for us to be successful. And so for myself, I really let myself get put into a mental, cultural, socioeconomic warp to where I thought that that was the only lifestyle that would lead me to some real financial success, to allow me to live a boss and be the baddest bitch I could be. And really be like, you know, after I went through some very traumatic experiences with dudes in that lifestyle and came across some real, you dealing with some real thugs, killers, real, you know what I'm saying? In the street, you gonna experience some things that you really didn't understand was part of that. Cashing out, he doing whatever. You're dealing with, so you could be coming across some real demonic energy in a lot of different ways. And so going through those things, then it put me in a frame of mind to where I was living my life with the FNGM mindset. Do y'all want to take a guess at what those letters stand for?
FNGM. Fight now. Get money.
Fuck niggas get money.
Thank you,
Oh,
Blue Pill. Let me give you a ding for that. Ding. So yes, because
okay.
I do like to use my divine speech, but that became my lifestyle. So when I found myself now, I'm 19. I've been wrapped up in this whole other false world that's been created through this whole BMF and BMF oriented lifestyle. Getting accustomed to that, viewing my road to success only, you know, Trina was one of my favorite artists back in the day. Or, you know, listening to Lil Kim's first tape, like, yeah, that's, you know what I'm saying? All of that, seeing just what was happening in strip clubs when I was just going, you know, on a date, just going, hanging out, kicking it, totally in it. So by the time I'm reaching my junior year of high school and could not get a student loan, definitely wasn't even eligible or applying for no scholarships. Next thing you know, where did I wind up? In the strip clubs of Miami and Atlanta. Now, just like, you know, fuck this nigga, I'm getting money. I don't care. I'm doing me. Can't nobody tell me nothing. Bitch, pay me if that's what you want to say. Excuse my French. But seriously, that was the lifestyle. Like, I didn't care what anybody thought. I was all about my dollars. If you got something to say, meet me at the bank, because they knew me. You feel me? Getting, you know, doing what I was doing and not caring about that and not really understanding that my energy, my impact, my destiny is divine. I have gifts, I have talents, I have things for the world that I deserve to explore myself to see. Instead, I was falling for what society told me I should be. And then also what I just allowed myself to really get fully indoctrinated and wrapped up in, to where I was so out of touch. It took a few crazy near death, just really eye-opening experiences. And then also my mama finding out I was living a double life. That, you know, once you get that call from mom and she's Cayenne, is that you? What? How do you even know that name? Wait, pause. And your whole world shatters before your eyes. All of that I was talking and thinking I knew and just the realities that I was ignoring when the first experience I really had going into the professional realm of the strip world was Super Bowl weekend of 2007, which was in Miami, where I was able to first out the gate audition and get on this group that was being taken down there, where they got all of the best girls from the biggest clubs in Atlanta to take over.
A video freezing. Is that just on my end or that's on y'all's too?
That's on my end as well.
Okay, I really want to hear the story.
I mean,
God damn it.
yeah, might have a connection issue.
But I think your mic is muted, Bada.
Bada, your mic. Unmute your mic.
I said Amina is the last 5 letters in stamina. And stamina is Saint Amina.
Yes,
You already, I know he's sitting there putting balls together already.
I know. He gonna have it's gonna be an 8-minute song called I Mean Nah.
I mean, nah.
I mean, nah.
I can see the M and nah. NA is also Narcotics Anonymous, so I am in Narcotics Anonymous. They got the Amanita muscaria, which is the red and white mushroom pot. We were talking about Mario earlier, right? Remember we were talking about Mario earlier? Well, guess what? Amanita Fire Garris. Come on. We look. We consider the kitchen all day long. Do you want flapjacks? Do you want crepes? Or do you want French toast? It's all the same ingredients.
Right.
We gotta get it back. The story. I saw the whole movement. I saw the whole story in my mind. I was like, I could see this. Her role being played by Natari Horton or something like that. Like I saw the whole movement. It's like the PMF movement through the eyes of the female, and then she's the dancer. She's out there the whole life. It's
and the turnaround. The story is important because in 2020 there's a movement going on this summer that's very strong, and it's attracting a lot of attention. And the sister has even been personally attacked by people in what are known the conscious community and even in the EFA community for saying that the body is sacred. And the word in the streets is that sex workers are sacred, sex work is sacred, whole culture is sacred, and there should be no one questioning. No men should have anything to say about it, and we should not speak on it. But if I have a sister who could speak of the horrors of it and speak of the allure, but the pros and the cons of it, I think that that's important. That needs to be said for those who have daughters, like what Nas speaks of. Here's Sister Amina back. Your thing was freezing a little bit, so it may be a connection issue.
Yeah, I swear I paid my internet bill with Comcast.
I know that's right.
That's right. I know that's right.
Hey, what can we do?
That high frequency, it disturbs the Wi-Fi.
It does.
The Wi-Fi. The wife has to scan all over. So
that's right. But we were very engaged with your story.
We turned it into fly.
Yes, and we do want you to continue. It's very visual.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Where did I leave off?
You was talking about Miami. You said when the Atlanta
Super Bowl.
Miami. Yes. Okay.
That Super Bowl.
Yeah. So imagine me. This is really a movie, y'all, and the book is coming out soon. So y'all stay tuned. Prayerfully, 2020. Ashe. It will be out. But
we there with you.
Imagine what it is like for me, and I'm 19 years old, getting chosen, selected. It was me and some other friends. We was able to audition, get on with all of the best strippers from the top clubs in Atlanta coming to take over Miami, and we was on a charter bus down there. So my introduction is with all of the baddest divas you could think of from all the different top clubs there to come through some of the biggest promoters in Atlanta, especially on the strip club scene, to take over this club in Miami. At that time, that's when Pac-Man Jones, he was, people remember his antics, everything right. He making it rain because he keeping up, he like, I'm gonna be able to make it rain like BMF was, and can't none of y'all do it because the streets dried up overnight. But it basically, that trip turned into not what anybody planned. It actually turned into a disaster because the promoters could not compete with the clubs in Miami that people like came to see. So it wound up being, we came down there for one thing and then had to try to then get into the clubs that were already there and already going on, because the first thing fell through. But through that whole experience, I got to see some pretty crazy stuff and really got to, like, at that point, I was like, hey, I've made this decision. I'm gonna get to a point where, I'm financially cool with everything that I got. But the road to getting there is like, things will be presented to you as, oh, you just, it's not even nothing. You just there. People like making it rain. It's cool. It's whatever. You don't understand. It's a whole back end deals, politics. A lot of people, especially now, who people will see making it rain in the club, that money is going right back to the promoter. That money is going right back to the club. Girls will come and have dudes make it rain on them, so then it'll inspire other dudes to make, like, it's all kind of shenanigans that are going on. And when you are living a life where you're getting stuff really fast and not really having a moral compass about it, if it's something that is like benefiting you, benefiting society, or something that you're just doing to benefit your bank account and you don't care about like the impact and energy of it, it's going to come back in some really crazy ways. And so um I found, myself in different instances where, like, I wound up getting arrested. And like, it's a post that I've recently made on my social media at Sister Imina, Instagram, Facebook, all of that, YouTube. But it's a post that I recently made, just kind of revisiting that and showing a picture of me when I was in that lifestyle, compared to a picture of me after I got initiated to Ifa in Nigeria, and also, just start growing in my journey as a priestess, and just my road in those two different lives, and just talking about lessons that I learned. But in that picture of me when I was in that previous life, that night before that picture, I had wound up getting arrested. And people have, I didn't say exactly what happened, how I wound up getting arrested, what, but I think a lot of people maybe assume, oh, it was for prostitution or she was da da da. And it was actually, and something that I realized can happen to a lot of girls, is that me and one of my homegirls was kicking it in the parking lot of Midtown Bowl, which is right over there by the Cheshire Bridge, red light district. Everything's going down over there. But we were chilling in the parking lot, bumping Young Jeezy and smoking. Mind our own business, living our best lives. We're tucked away, chilling before we was gonna go work at Platinum 21, which is now Follies East or something like that, but it's now a big club. Which we got fans. All right. So we were in the parking lot, and there was a dude who we saw, who he was like trying to holler whatever, but it was just kind of weird. He was kind of weird. He was around our age, but we was just like, bro, we ain't got no time. You know what I'm saying? Like, we doing us. Like, stay your weird ass over there. He was basically shaded, bro, like that. We didn't realize that he was an undercover officer that was on a sting operation, and there was a team of red dogs. Who's red dogs, for people who don't know, in Atlanta, they are like
They're the jump
Jump
out
Out
boys.
Boys.
Black
Yeah,
Ops, Navy SEALs, damn near of Atlanta
yeah.
Police Department. So they had just finished something in the area. So he wound up calling them because we turned him down, and he probably was trying to proposition us or whatever. But he got so offended that we didn't talk to him that he called his people to come arrest us for smoking weed in the parking lot. So next thing you know, 1 minute we just smoked one blunt, chilling, about to go into work, backing up, and then our car is surrounded by police department in the SWAT team uniforms with their guns drawn, making us get out of the car. Brought the paddy wagon. Couldn't find no weed in the car because all that we brought was what we smoked because we were not stupid, but tried to force us to take us to who we bought the weed from for us to not go to jail. And it's like, that's not happening. Um, but just that like a lot of times in the underworld life, girls are targeted in different ways by police officers and have those kind of things happen. So that picture, I had just got bailed out of jail from that experience the night before that. And that was when in my mind I said, you know what? I gotta make it, you know what I'm saying, in this because I'm fully now in all the shiznit now. It's
Right.
going down.
You could share your screen on this app right here in case you wanted to show them a picture that you're talking about.
Um, you know what? I'm on my phone. I ain't gonna lie,
Oh,
y'all.
it's
I'm
all
kind of
good.
so y'all just go to my Instagram when you get off. Go to my Facebook page. It's actually on my Facebook page. There is a really firestorm conversation where it's getting thousands of shares, likes. The comment section is going really crazy in this debate about what I learned from my journey, and I related that and just alluded. I didn't really even get into all the facts and everything that, qualifies me to actually like know what I'm talking about. I'm not just saying something and I'm having an opinion or I'm trying to be holier than thou, and it ain't none of that. We are in a cultural um we are a cultural in a cultural war.
Facts.
So in that, we don't like we just can't play with how that's going. So in that post, it's a lot of people are agreeing with my transformation and what I'm sharing and the lessons learned. But then there's a surprising number of people who feel like I am I've gotten called Eurocentric, patriarchal. I'm trying to police women's bodies, and I'm, just because I said that my uh sexuality and my sexual energy is divine. I'm getting all that kind of like flack and pushback when I'm like, well, I said it's divine. I didn't say it disappeared. That's
So
just
let me
not going to
get
be
this
the
straight.
first thing and the only thing that you see, but best believe it's always going to be there. That's not the question. That's not the issue. Before, I did not realize the power of our sexual energy. I did not realize the way that when I'm connecting with someone on that level, when I'm showcasing myself to someone on that level, the depth of what that means. And that no, everybody don't get to get it. But if I do give, because I'm an artist, so you all could go on YouTube, you can see my music videos. I'm in a robe. I'm not hiding myself, but I am showcasing myself in a way to where, yes, I'm showcasing and accentuating my beauty, but I don't want you to be thinking about what if, like, just a level of me that everybody don't need to know all the time. Every time that I talk and that you see me, there's a time, a place, a space for that. And a lot, because so a huge part of my journey as an artist has been being heavily influenced and impacted by the legacy of Fela Kuti. And his spiritual energy has touched me in some deep ways. And as y'all get to know me and see my journey, you understand and you see what that means. But just in, I've worked with a lot of his family members, his sons, his proteges, different people. It's like naturally aligned in my life journey. And that helped me to get back in touch with my sexual energy, because that allowed me to understand a big part of his formula was really taking the revolutionary lyrics and using that root chakra sexual energy to bring that message to other realms and higher dimensions. So people would be at his shows and be hypnotized. You see his dancers, his wives, everybody, you know what I'm saying? That's the epitome of twerking physically. But in terms of the inner twerking is being used for, is for our liberation. It's not, there was no, we're talking about how he was going to do this, that, and the third, and whoop, 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 whoop. But that also was not, when you show, you know that I understand that there is a power in our energy and how we use it. Just like people, you maybe get into your consciousness and want to do sex magic to make money, or sex magic to do that. We got to be like really using that energy to create and birth a new. I do embrace who I am as a woman and my ownership of how I want to showcase myself, depending on how I feel. Should be very free to express who we are and what we want to be. The issue is that we're being programmed to showcase ourselves in one way that is putting all our energy and attention just around that aspect.
Your phone is freezing up a little bit.
And how it's such a crucial match with the talent. Oh,
yeah,
I switched from my computer to my phone.
Yeah, it's freezing up a little bit.
I'm gonna need.
I don't want to.
Damn.
You flowing, and I want that. Like, yeah, that's right. When your frequency rises up, it starts getting choppy. But you are definitely flowing. I want Kambada to add on, and I want to hear from the God. What is his take on the rise? I would say the thought pieces and the explosion of the WAP song, and what's just the whole mind state that's coming with it.
I mean, it's interesting. The best art is always also the most polarizing. There's some kind of noise interference. It sounds like a mouse is eating somebody's mic, dude. Is that
Blue?
Yeah, it does.
That might.
It sounds like we're recycling cans.
All right.
Eating metal, dude. All right. So yes, the WAP song. The best art is always the most polarizing. So WAP is clearly effective in its ability, and art does not lean anywhere towards, it doesn't have to be negative or positive. It's a neutral force. Essentially what they did is still create. It is very highly creative. Some of the punchlines where she was like, touched a little dangly thing in the back of my throat, and I'm sorry for the art. Well, it's after hours. This is after dark. But I mean, just my reaction just now means there's obviously some kind of you know, perversion in it, in a sense that it's taken such a beautiful divine process and it's kind of just making it I guess hedonistic in a sense. So yes, it is not a healthy song that, you know, families should, you know, gather around the table and listen to. And of course we know children are basically I would say exposed to every facet. It doesn't matter how many child restrictions you put on the iPad, they're gonna hear these songs, yo. So, however, I mean, even the concept of childhood is debatable in this Western world sense. I mean, children are essentially maturing adults that are just getting used to their bodies and language. We do kind of, I guess, hold off exposing them to sexuality and violence to kind of preserve the innocence of childhood and the whimsical nature of being free and being stuck in that imagination world. But if we were still living in primitive times, which we're not, so some would say that this example isn't, you know, is redundant, but in a primitive world, there is no time to watch Disney Channel and fucking play with Legos, you know what I mean? So if you know, and they might hear mama and daddy fucking behind the tree, you know what I mean? It's just not because it's not perverse, it's not nasty when you see titties or when you see booty. It's just a part of life, you know. So but in this Western world, the way that it's designed, that song could be seen as unhealthy, you know, no different than porn. You can access porn on the internet just as easily as you access that song. So not only that, there's been much nastier songs. I remember "Put It in Your Mouth," Akinelli. Put it in your mouth. No, most people don't know that India Irie used like she used that same beat for fancy clothes. That song, I'm Not the Average Girl from your video. But yeah, much nastier song. Listen to Uchi Wobble, bro. So yeah, and I mean it was bars. The song had bars. Like I think that whoever wrote Cardi B's bars was like on point with those bars. I have a song that I wrote called Toxic Masculinity, which is basically is an extreme perverse allegory from the mouthpiece of the male to kind of just almost I guess parody the ridiculousness of some of this shit. Like most of the people that get offended by this are just getting offended by it because of the sake of conversation. They're not actually trembling in their sheets at night because they heard this song. You know, let's be real. Like humans are mad sensitive sometimes. So sometimes it's like, okay, yeah. Like, so everything is debatable with this song. It has to be a personal choice in how you raise, because we're only talking about the kids here. When it comes to this song, the only reason to even talk about it is because there's children on Earth. So you as the parent have to take precedent and make sure that you don't let them watch porn. You don't let them watch highly violent things. You don't let them listen to WAP. Us adults have to stop being, well, basically, you know, pussyfoot baby boy, baby girls. Like, come on, go outside, yo. I see you. You'll see a fucking eagle take a squirrel and rip its head off, and then fuck a bird right after that. Bam, bam, bam. So we know what the world is. We know how brutal it is. We know what's going on. Just like in the Queen's story, that is a testament to how brief outside is. It's every man for himself to a certain degree. We got real comfortable with ambulance and fire trucks and police officers and being able to call people. And, you know, that's the whole purpose of a gang, is that you have some sort of, you know, power in numbers. But essentially, you know, just like I'm hearing them crickets outside right now, it gets real, especially if you know what I'm talking about. You've been in that darkness in the forest, you realize you that forest to eat you much quicker than the streets will. The forest home. You'll be out there minding your business. You'll be an angel. You pay all your tithes and taxes. A viper will come bite your leg and you're dead in 3 hours. You know, so yeah, like
we need to put two things in perspective. We also have to take stock in the fact that in this post-COVID world, post-riots, right, post-defund police, the environments that we exist in, it's almost like the Joker movie. It's a little bit darker now. You know what I'm saying? And when they say that it's a new normal and it's not going back to certain ways, they mean, you know, the ways in which things were hidden behind a veil. You know what I'm saying? Everything seems to be out in the open right now. And the test of constructing a new normal is how do you manage that? How do you juxtapose it? How do you create your new reality that still is mindful of the world that we live in, but you also have permission to create your own situation. And this sometimes gives people the impetus to say, look, if I have to come up with a solution, how can you possibly insulate children from being exposed to this? You have to construct your own reality and your own society.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The world is going to break into pockets. You feel me? And because you do have the ability to start new and start all over somewhere that's totally out of the earshot or the eyesight of the rest of the world, you can create your own society, a model society where you have restrictions, where these children don't have access to anything but what you construct for them to come into contact with. And that's about the only, you have to go to an extreme like that at this point in time to avoid what is accessible in a world where what was in the dark and in the deep has now come to the surface in a political sense, in a social economic sense, in a societal sense. You feel me? And the fact that everybody's secrets is out in the open right now, right? They're telling you openly about pedophilia and child abuse. You know what I'm saying? They're telling you that you have to defend yourself in your own community right now. They're telling you it's a lot of things that is being shown to people, and our reluctance to have seize the time to have the right conversation. See, the conversation that she is commandeering is saying that there also needs to be a conversation about a woman's right to say, well, if you have all of these thought pieces saying that's an expression of woman empowerment, then divine womanhood also should be a conversational piece as an expression of what they consider, divine, or an expression that women are capable to make that speaks of empowerment. What about sisterhood? What about the emphasis on melanated women that have businesses in the time of COVID? You know what I'm saying? What about melanated sisters that are heroes in this particular world? So, there just needs to be done. There needs to be more done just to bring that conversation somewhat into balance. You know what I'm saying? Because it's somewhat lopsided with everybody just saying, oh, this is the greatest expression of women empowerment and women laying claim to their bodies and having a right to be expressive, whereas prior to that, they would just be on the receiving end of a man's interpretation of what he felt, you know what I'm saying, the standard of beauty or sexual interaction is, when that's the creative force.
Yeah.
And it has to be some sort of play that's made to retain an aspect of the creative force that still brings forward something that we consider to be godlike.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's been the uphill battle for, I think, for basically all creation, or sense in the times of, sometimes the greatness doesn't correlate with best or most excellent. Greatness is an aspect of quantity. So when they say that, because of the facets of technology now and how fast it is to move word and how fast it is to move media in its condensed form, in some ways they're right. This obviously it is a very impactful situation. Anything that happens nowadays is impactful because of the internet and social media, and because of the machines that pump more into less divine things. The more divine it is, the more natural it is, and the less monetizable it is. It's basically ABC. It's not right. It's not good, and you're absolutely right. It has to start from our community, though. Like literally, like as long as we're not kind of I've heard that song one time in my life. I didn't even know all these stats on it. I haven't talked about this song until just now. Like this song, like literally, I've heard this song one time. So that means you don't have to hear the song. You know what I mean? So like literally, like yes, it's terrible. And there's people like me and us that make amazing music, but our community just has to share this music and not that music. And hopefully that can do something, but
and I wouldn't necessarily say that it's terrible because, like I said, because of the times that we're in and what we physically just experienced as a body collective, right? There was a suppression of sex, of sexuality. Women want to be touched, appreciated, and they also want to express the fact that they have a WAP right now because, you know what I'm saying? There was a period in time when that wasn't being necessarily tended to. You feel me? So just like when you saw the opportunity for people to come outside, you seen how they came outside, right?
I feel that
hold on, marching, that's still Martian energy. That's still a martial attribute, right?
yes.
So it's a movement of blood, it's an engorgement of blood. It deals with a sexual energy that moves, right? So there's a psychic unconscious, subconscious expression that women are expressing about their WAPs. They want to get chose on right now. They want to actually have sex.
I feel that
you were ready.
I feel that because 2020 has been a year that has been inundated in fear. 2020 is the year of fear. People have been taken to levels of fear. It started out with an average fear factor, and throughout the months, even leading into the summer, the fear factor has been turned up a notch. Right. So there are natural occurrences that are inducing fear. There's, of course, the COVID-19, the second wave or the second phase of it is inducing fear. There are violence in multiple Black neighborhoods and communities. That's inducing fear. And there's also other things like vaccinations, loss of jobs, and things of that nature. So during times of fear, when cortisol is released and people are inundated and they're somewhat restricted, the 4 F's begin to kick in, right? You have the fight, flight, fornicate, and feast reflexes. Okay. So frozen, the frozen aspect, the fight or flight, or you stay frozen, you're frozen, you don't move. You basically keep it local, you become stagnant. You don't speak of, you don't see things in a perspective this outside of your quote unquote radius. Then the fighting aspect, you become violent. There's been an uptick in violence across Black America ever since they pulled off the George Floyd protests and they started painting on people's sidewalks and saying that was their, that was the token of their quote unquote freedom, of their equality. They got sidewalks with BLM on it, where you walk on the sidewalk. You're not supposed to walk on people who have deceased names. That's something that even the gangs would tell you. That's something that Africans would tell you. They put murals up for a reason. They put your name on the wall and above you. Or you're not supposed to put your feet on people who haven't even been really avenged. You don't walk on them, on their faces or their names, right? So the aspect of fighting, Black people are fighting. There's a lot of people that I know personally that are getting into fights with loved ones. There's a lot of there's an uptick in fades and whatnot this summer.
Mars is at home in Aries.
Mars is at home in Aries, so it's popping off. Fornicate or flight. There's been an exodus out of New York. There's been an exodus in the West Coast. There's been an exodus in San Francisco. There's been an exodus in big cities. The preppers and brothers and sisters who know what's coming in the near future are taking advantage of the real estate bubble. Is going to burst. It's going to burst in the city in any minute now. The real estate bubble is going to explode.
They cannot justify $2,500 and $3,000 rents in New York City after September. It's impossible, right? It is nearly impossible. So people are buying farmland. They're leaving the cities. There's an exodus. So there's a flight taking place. What else is left out of the 4 F's is fornicate. If I was a social engineer who worked at one of these billion-dollar labels and I sat down with Cardi B and she played me all of the songs that she had to roll out for her album, I would say take WAP and run it. Why? Because as a social engineer, somebody who's supposed to pay attention to what's going on in the society, that's behind the marketing and the promotion departments. WAP is the perfect song for right now because fornication. Remember, look at if you go and do the research on the numbers of porn sites, Pornhub, and the traffic that how it skyrocketed during the lockdown, that would tell you that you put out a sexually charged song because it's going to chart because everybody, like Blue Pill said, they want physical touching. They said don't touch nobody. Do you know niggas' sex life dried up? There wasn't no WAP in the early COVID, nigga. What are you talking about? Right. Phase 1, nigga. It wasn't no WAP in phase 1. Not the first wave.
They like is the WAP COVID clean.
Facts. Niggas was not cutting when they was like, yo.
Needed COVID certificates for the WAP.
Yo, you remember early COVID when people was obeying the 6 feet? Yo, 4 feet distance. Yo, give me 4 feet.
And then you had to trust the WAP that you was with, so you was in a 2-week window where your shit was like.
Facts.
You waking up. You know
your WAP had to be certified with. You know how they got grade A on the restaurants.
WAP is also the worldwide known sound effect of that masturbation makes. You're actually whopping off. It makes a whopping sound.
The wop.
Yeah. Also, wop. I remember wop.
I remember doing the wop.
Doing the also wireless application.
Phonetics.
We have to use you know, come on.
Yo, on the LSD.
Italian, huh?
On the LSD Deluxe album, like how you broke down LSD.
Yeah.
Let's do a WAP song on the deluxe. Fact.
Well, you know, we talking about WAP that has sexuality. WAP backwards is paw. You know, paws are like basically animal claws. And when you see those animal claws, it forces you to pause because you don't want to get scratched by the paws. So, you know, and then you got two, you know, so hey, you know, that's just what we're talking, you know. Me and my friends, you know. What is this, man?
That's a fact.
Crazy bunch, dude.
That's a fact.
You know?
So yeah, man. The WAP
man, Whopper with cheese, dude.
Whopper with cheese. The WAP.
Burger Queen. Why haven't we just opened up a Burger Queen right across the street from every Burger King and make that all vegan? Come on, let's talk about economics, man. Where's the Burger Queen?
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
That's crazy right there.
Burger Queen with the all impossible burgers.
Oh, it's all like, you know, put it in, you know, hey, let's go, dude. Burger Queens, dude. You know,
we can have a yam burger instead of a hamburger. We can have a hamburger, and Buffy the Body can sell it to us. They can have like a yam burger,
macaroni and greens, dude. You know,
macaroni and queens,
macaroni and queens. You know.
So you know,
you gotta.
I'm glad that we had this conversation about that. I want to shift the conversation into a review, an album review from 4 artists that I highly respect. When Sister Amina comes back, we'll let her add on. I believe she told me before that she was a Nas fan. But our brother Nasir Jones has dropped off a product. It's called King's Disease. It's exclusively executive produced by Hitman. He found a sound with a producer, something that we don't see from Nas too much. He did something with Kanye previously. But how are you feeling that project, Kambada?
You know, it's crazy because I literally just heard it today, dude. Literally just heard it today.
Right.
Real quick, did you hear it in the car and did you hear it in sequence? That's important.
I heard it on my speakers.
Studio.
But I didn't hear it in actually, I did not hear it in sequence. The first song I heard was the song that they kept trying to say it was a Doja Cat
Ultra Black.
Yeah, the Ultra Cat. Obviously, like it rhymes.
So moist.
They just use that.
Yeah, they're so moist.
Yeah, it's like one line. Let's just make headlines. Yeah, you need because you need something. As somebody that knows about PR and just what it experienced, they're like, what can we use? What can we use? You know?
Right. And you could tell that whoever the PR people were behind Ultra Black, they were afraid of the message, so they went into the negative. They went into, remember, public relations, Edward Bernays, propaganda, Ishfat, with these people spread rumors of war. They sow seeds of discord through PR campaigns, through public relations and other things. So that right there was a disservice to what that song represented. Ultra Black and the lyrics that he was dropping on that.
So they, of course, like right off rip, like his rhyme patterns were there was a couple rhyme patterns he had where I was like very pleasantly surprised. The Anderson .Paak song, he killed that. The song that we're talking about, Ultra Black, incredible flows, incredible rhyme patterns. The production was great on it. The Charlie Wilson song, I was a little dissatisfied with that song. I expected something a little different out of that. The Firm song with AZ and Cormega, it was, I really had to just like take myself out of my critical box for this album, because it would be very easy for me to go through this with a magnifying lens and try to find things wrong with it. But I just went in to appreciate that these are architects. These are the archetypes of hip hop. Nas is one of my biggest influencers. So to hear him even doing this still, is amazing. But that Firm song was fun. I mean, it was, Foxy Brown, is good to hear her. I could tell that there was a lot of surgery done to get that verse to rock. But overall, I wouldn't compare it to any of his great albums. I wouldn't even try to even do that to him. But it was refreshing. I don't know how many times I'll play that album back, but I will say they call him Nas, and that is the prefix in nostrils, because he knows. You know what I mean? And that he still reigns to be somebody who speaks with a very sharp pen. His album was very refreshing. It was I would say it's great. It's great for hip hop. That album, I don't know where I would put it against the J Electronica J album. I say that Nas might have outperformed them on this album, for sure. I'm gonna go back for a second listen, but I got the gist of it. It don't take me many listens. You know what I mean? I could feel it, and I knew what I liked when I heard it. And album is cool. It's not, Stillmatic and Illmatic, and it was written. I mean, even like God's Son. I mean, we're talking about just
let's do this.
Coolest albums of all times.
Right.
But so it's not fair.
Let's not compare 90s albums to 20 albums to 2000 albums. We should cut that. Yeah. Huh?
You're talking about a 30-year difference in a whole
a whole new sound.
But it's still part of his catalog. So we're making a fair assessment on his body of work, and we're saying, where does it pair in the body of work? Could it even be mentioned in that pantheon, or we could say, oh, this is a boutique project? Like,
I would say closer to that. It's
because it's with one producer, so it's going to be judged like that.
Yeah, and I could tell it in the sound, not to cut you guys off, I could tell in the sound that there's a separation from the authentic, organic warmth of being in the studio and creating an album with a team. I feel like this album is a little digital sounding to me, so it might not just on a real physical frequency level. I don't know if it's going to resonate the same just at all. I don't think it's just physically possible for that album to do that. It sounds like it might have been done. I'll send my verses to your studio. You send me the beat. It sounds, sandwich, but it's a great album. Refreshing for this year for him to still be doing it. It was A1, very, very, very well done album.
Okay, Amina, your thoughts?
You know, y'all, I've been going through the internet struggle, so I'm not exactly sure what the whole question was.
Okay, we're talking about Nas's album. Did you hear it?
I didn't hear it. I've been seeing a lot of people talking about it. Sounds like it's provoked some necessary conversations, but it'll be interesting to hear like what he has to say right now. I really have not listened
Yeah,
to anything
I
yet,
think
so
yeah,
I gotta tap in.
and again, I think that different Nas fans had different expectations. So there's certain people that expected him to go in the political bag and weave that everything that he previously used to talk about and kind of tippy toed around because there wasn't a set audience for him to talk about the deeper things that he normally spoke on, right? He's been looking for his identity either in the club or more so in the street.
Mm,
So he don't really, his thing ain't normally what a 444 would be, right? I think that we saw him deliver a lot of attempts to, not necessarily speak the language of a younger generation, but spin in the club, right? There was attempts at that, you know what I'm saying? And they didn't go as bad as other attempts have gone. I think that
yeah.
there was an integrity to this album that he also gave it a grown feel, and for him to even pull that off, at this stage in the game, it's still a necessary notch for where hip hop will eventually go, because that's a burgeoning genre that's not going nowhere. And what I'm talking about is the over 40 club. And I just heard LL say he's putting something together. There's going
Mm,
to be many artists that you're going to see now that music has moved into a zone of being freed up, and it's just going to be internet based. It's you to your customer. They can fight it all they want, but the whole
right.
quarantine post COVID aspect of you being able to get what you need directly and journeying along the entire process. Like Cambada, they want to be in a session with you for your next project every single day in every session, right? They want the full experience because now you people are used to saying shit. We at home, we can see the whole process. It's virtual.
Mm,
And there's a value. There's an
Yeah.
added value to that.
So it's also what I see these projects mean in terms of the precedents that they set. We get we get the ability to judge the project on what we feel, is our appreciation of how it pairs to other project and adds up to his previous works or what we expect as a fan base. But I'm saying that what the impact of a 444 means, or what the impact of a King's Disease and the Black Thought album and other artists and Royce 5'9" and what I'm saying, and Rick Ross. You dig what I'm saying? These older artists, these artists that are progressively getting older in their age and their years, and they're still continuing the conversation of hip hop. They're still carrying the torch. Hip hop is in its 47th year right now. There's people that are living and dying that are 47 years. We can see what that looks like in a person. This
mm,
is a genre. It's not even 60 yet. You feel me? It ain't
mm.
been here for 100 years. It don't even have
Ooh,
its grays yet.
It's the
wow.
longest lasting contemporary
Yeah.
popular form of music of all
And,
time. Even
Wow.
better music, which I'm obsessed with 70s music.
and,
Willie Hutch,
and
Earth, Wind and Fire, Jones Girls.
let's
That music came and went, and those are the greatest musicians of all
right.
time.
Right.
And hip hop is still
So
here because it's easy. It's because it's easy and it's cheap to
right.
replicate.
So
Mm-hmm.
let's be the scientific minds that we are, right? We know that we belong to a generation that existed before hip hop, right? Some of us technically that was either born at the beginning stage, the early beginning stages of hip hop, meaning at its pinnacle birth point. I don't think nobody on here was born when hip hop wasn't what hip hop was if it was born in 73, right?
Yeah.
So hip hop is technically older than us. A generation came after us that was born directly into hip hop. They have had children now where their parents are hip hoppers. You feel me?
Yep.
So we haven't even seen what their generation is going to produce and the children that they're going to produce. Hip hop is never, ever going anywhere.
Mm.
This is going to be a continuum in the language until one of these children are so scientific that they utilize that shit to split an atom.
You
feel me? This will be the ladder that communicates and you know, makes the connection to other life forms. Niggas is coming to somebody's concert like we had to pull up. That nigga's the man on motherfucking Aldebaran. You feel me? Like we knock his shit. We got not 12s, we got 144,000 in our
facts.
You feel me? There's gonna be somebody that brings the fucking mothership down, my nigga. Right? Hip hop ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, I would say that it is the most effective form.
We haven't even laid to rest like how the government we be seeing, they be laying the state, the Reagans and all of that shit. Like the passing of hip hop gods after what Nipsey and them did, that shit is gonna be international festivities. You feel me? These are gonna be gods that lay in state that will have monuments built to them in the future. These are the gods. We are living in a time we don't understand biblically, spiritually, and all of that. Well, we are witnessing the gods. Why? Because hip hop is a divination system. Why do I say that? Because it is the only genre where you can literally, in one night, walk in the club, a mortal man, and leave out a god.
Explain that.
And KRS-One, he went to Latin quarters. He was homeless, right?
Right.
He was down on his luck, fucked up, right? Assed out. Didn't have $1 to his name. Went to Latin quarters, touched that stage, and nothing was ever the same.
That's right.
You understand? He left that place of God, and he never let that perception down. He only built on it. All the way to the point where this man now wrote the gospel of hip hop. You understand? It's like watching the trajectory of Don Cheadle. Right? He started off as Rocket in Colors.
Mm-hmm.
And you watch his progression. He went all the way to God on Mars and Mission to Mars. He was the
GOAT too. He was touching the top of the backbone.
And he was the GOAT, right? And he has been, and he's the black, what you call it, Iron Man. Right? The flip side to the 44. So we could see the trajectory of what these people in this lifetime, in this life form represent. Because this is the first time in the existence of man, right? We have to take what we have to our benefit to our benefit. This is the first time in the existence of man where we've had the opportunity to simultaneously observe one another. No other time has had that opportunity. Think about the benefit that represents. Right?
Pure omniscience. These are the eyes of God. This is universal omniscience.
You've never witnessed nobody's whole motherfucking demonstration. You feel me? You heard about it. You wrote, you know what I'm saying? You read about it. You may have glimpsed a glimpse of it. You know how many times people showed up to a Jesus lecture? Right?
Right. How was he?
Only the people that was with him every day was like, I bore witness to this. You could see this shit every day. You could go to their IG pages.
Right.
You could go to YouTubes. You could go to their live.
Like they're doing right now with us.
Yeah, there'll be a time when, you know, there's never a time when somebody's not being observed, because technically, due to closed caption TVs, you are observed 24 hours, right? Even if we're not doing the observing, there's an observation
24 hours.
Place.
24 hours.
Feel me? That's the song of the year, by the way.
That's right.
Yo, we gotta do the I already said we gotta do the Blue Pill remix for one of the upcoming albums. You know what I mean? It's already in there.
Everywhere I go, that's all they ask me.
You got it.
24.
Yeah. That's
the new thing with the industry is deluxe albums. So somebody talk to Rich about that deluxe. You know what I mean? I need a remix on one of them songs though.
But Sister Amina, you know,
Definitely.
everything that was shared this evening and us painting somewhat of a broader picture, because all the time we don't get to hear every perspective, especially when we're so focused on, you know, not necessarily proving our point, but we're in defense mode because it's being attacked. You know,
Yeah.
we don't always open ourselves up to filter in different ideas and thoughts and perspectives. But what was being said tonight, does that give you any more insight into the you know, the broadness of the conversation, maybe parts of it that you don't see?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's like life is a spectrum, right? You have many different ways that people can live their experiences, and your experiences often shape your reality, or your lack of experiences shape your reality. So I'm seeing that a lot of people have different ways that they interpret their reality, and then also a lot of people don't realize the engineering being done to interpret their reality for them.
Right.
Hold on, real quick, Amina. The audio is sounding a little auto tune. The audio.
Or Dio, that golden god.
Yes. They got you on auto tune, beloved. I want you to sound like T-Pain.
In the world. No, I'm not. I don't know what's up with this audio situation though, because I'm here. Are y'all hearing like some static? I don't think that's mine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
a little static, like black lightning.
I'm gonna turn my mic off. Let's see if that.
Okay.
She getting attacked by the digital goblins, bro.
The digital gremlins. They chewing on us fiber optic.
That's the WAP
digital meat.
They're like, no. We know
I hear them snacking.
Look, they don't know. They can't stop this show.
You feel me?
It has to rise.
It's a gargoyle on a 5G tower trying to chew that shit.
I'm dead. Not a gargoyle though.
It's a gargoyle.
It's only a gargoyle if you like your eggs hard boiled.
Wait, they got Kylie Jenner on your 5G tower. Gotta bring up the
I rebuke. Let me go spray some digital Florida water around here and burn some digital things, because I'm not about to play.
You know, troll backwards is Lord. You know how they do that. Oh, Lord. That's troll.
Troll is Lord. Real quick though, I don't want to lose. I don't want to forget. We all have a date in Atlanta that we want to tell the people about. We don't want the people to not be informed that all four of us will be majestically performing our magical selves. You know what I mean? Because you know, everybody has a magical self. And when I see you perform, Sister Amina, and when I see Kambada slip into his zone, and when I see Blue Pill blackout, I see you in your magical self. You know, and I know how I felt on microphones before, where I turned into an entity, and then when the music went off, I almost was like, put me on a stretcher, because whatever that force that just went through me, I need to get it back. No fair.
It's the most powerful you can feel, because it's not as impactful as athletics. So like a boxer, you know, especially like in that moment, you're so animalistic and primal, you're not thinking. But when you're like, especially rappers, we have the most leisure job or lifestyle that leads to the most riches and fame. It's
you gotta mute somebody's phone.
Sound like you know.
I mean, yeah, that might be the.
Those
we
are
gotta get it. Yeah,
Cosmic bubble gut, dude.
I just muted and I was. Did y'all hear it after I muted? Did it go off?
It went off. Yeah.
You know, I'm gonna get whoever's doing my internet around here. I'm telling y'all, I paid the bill. It should be working.
Nah, we know it's you good on your side. We know that it's them gremlins, goddamn striping them. You know what I'm talking about?
You're rolling in bubble wrap, dude. It's not
Northwest Kardashian on your 5G tower, chewing on it because you was talking about Kylie Jenner.
Dude.
Something is happening.
Kylie Jenner, dude, that whole family. Yeah, what? But what were you talking? Oh yeah, like so that force that you get on the stage, that feeling of power, is you're basically a priest. It's a priestly ceremonial process going here. It's you become the voice box of God, no different than somebody that's delivering a sermon to a congregation, except while you're talking, there's music. You're doing it rhythmically. Generally, their testimony comes after the singing, you know? So it's a little separate. Hip hop is the first experience where you're doing both at the same time. Even a musician, they're tied to one aspect of the sound. So you are the orator, you're the performer at the same time. I have a problem with the word performer. I have a problem with being considered a performer or an entertainer. I like to consider it me exhibiting art in company.
Exhibit
and teaching. It is an exhibit of my art that I allow you to be in company of. But so there is an aspect of the crowd has power because they just paid you to do something that they wanted you to do. And then you have power because you are impacting them or impressing them with your thought process. But that power also comes from the fact that at that one moment, you have the attention, the full attentiveness of all these people in front of you. So it's like, imagine somebody that is isolated on Earth and nobody's thinking about them versus somebody that's on a stage that everybody's thinking about them simultaneously, digitally, and they have 10,000 people staring at them, all holding them in their minds. The power of just your imagery becomes multiplied exponentially by how many minds are looking at you. And now just the concept of your being is now greater, just based on mathematics. So the thought of you becomes, and in that moment, like you feel it in it don't matter if you're sick, it don't matter how tired you were, that adrenaline is unmatched. You could get it in sex, but sex is, again, that's isolated. You could get it in like fighting, but like I said, that's still primal, you're taking impact. Music is like,
yeah, it is a rush. It's a rush of energy. The butterflies that I'm assuming everybody gets, they become cannon fodder. You know, they immediately get incinerated. You know, once your kundalini gets to rising. Blue Pill called it performance art. The battle rappers are not rappers, they are performance artists. That is one of the genres that can qualify the statement that we're making about this art being performance art. When you see the smack battles, what Lotus Lux is doing, with Hollow the Dawn is doing, you know, what Daylight is doing.
Yeah, that battle rap, actual battle rap, not what they're doing. Like I said, it's more so performance art because the music, the lyrics are memorized, so they're performing something that's already conceptualized and thought of in their mind, right? It's not instantaneous, which is what you do, Kambada. Freestyle battle rap. Freestyle battle rap incorporates all aspects of seven liberal arts. So it is the highest form of masonry because it's activating and utilizing the quadrivium, the trivium, the quadrivium, arithmetic, mathematics, astrology, right? Because it's really based. You could read somebody's chart, and their chart would probably speak directly to how the battle went. So it deals with positioning and timing and everything, every single aspect. And then comes astrology. After comes astrology, comes music, right? And those are the seven liberal arts of masonry. So the only genre on the planet that incorporates all seven simultaneously is freestyle battle rap, right? Freestyle battle rap is the highest form of man's utilization of every single mechanics that he has to his faculty, to his being, to engage and either exchange or battle in real time and become God.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's the most active principle of man guarding. Then comes the music part of, you making songs that move the entire planet. Like I said, in comparison, Jesus probably only, let's say at the most, administered to 100,000 people, right? There are people that artists have spoken to the millions, the multitudes, and they have incorporated the way that they think, the way that they live their lives. They have given them guidance. You know what I'm saying? They have given them their entire personal cloth, right? What they live their lives by. I was incarcerated with young dudes that was like, yo, I picked up a scale and an ounce because of the music that I listened to. And they told me specifically how to cook it, how to cut it, how to sell it, how to flip it. You know what I'm saying? Like, there has been music that has directed every single aspect of people's lives and have led them to make the decisions that have led them on the journey that they end up calling life. Now, whether that's in line with their destiny was or it took them off of it, I can't personally say. You know what I'm saying? But science has also said, it's scientifically shown that when a performer is performing, the audience now has access. That artist locks into the audience's mind. There's scientific research and studies on how this interplays and interacts, how a performer has control over the entire audience's mind and they have a connection. So we are observing all of these things happen. You know what I mean? Hence the power that an artist has that they can never really get to because of their contractual entanglements. You dig what I'm saying? But imagine an artist of the magnitude of, say, a Drake that was independent. It was just him connected directly to his fans.
Man.
Right? And he can, whatever he want like that. You dig what the freedom of that expression of what that power represents, of how they got to come to you differently when they sit at the table with you. You know what I'm saying? It is the highest order, right? I'm not spinning when I'm telling, because I'm sitting here and I'm talking to the personage of what the genre actually was created for, and that's Kambada. You know what I'm saying? It is a divination system. It is a pathway to divination. And it entails the divine aspect and force of who and what we are in real time. And we created it. And we created it in 73. That was a pivotal year. That's when the Twin Towers went up on April 4th, 1973. Hip hop was created August 11th, right? Right? And I would wonder in Leo, right? In Leo.
That's my sister's birthday too, man. It's crazy.
Oh, wow.
8 and 11 is 88. Because when I hear August, just like when I hear Sept, that's 7. Well,
and then 88, that's the miles per hour that Doc Brown had to hit in the DeLorean in order to time travel. And another piano.
6 and 11, my bad. 66. There's 66 books in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop will be our New Testament. It will be our pantheon. Those CDs will be different pages in the hip hop Bible by 2044. Trust me. Dig what I'm saying? We can't see it right now because we on top of it. You know what I'm saying? We can't see it this far out. I can see it this far out.
Yeah, man. I mean, I've experienced the phenomenon myself. I mean, what you're doing when you rhyme is much different than when you orate or speak in just linear, non-connected, free speech like we're doing right now.
Right.
It is kind of this open-ended, monologue or dialogue. is what we experience in conversation, but when you're rapping, the rhyming aspect solves the problem on both a grammatical, I guess just vocal linguistic level, but also a numerical mathematic level. And then the sonics that happen when you hear the rhyming sound solidify and also satisfy the sonic. It encapsulates it. It solves it. We like to see a burger with 2 buns, and the rhymes give the wordage. The aspect is the insides and the context of the sandwich. The bread becomes the rhyming aspect, and it locks it in. And so it's different than just having fun or you're finding patterns, and you're making these patterns. You're deducing it and reducing it down to a simplistic pattern that you can then start to see the patterns in life, kind of like the movie Jim Carrey movie 23 or Blue Pill's Law of 44. Once you understand the patterns of the matrix and the way that this reality was coded algorithmically, that our minds are able to, I guess, coagulate into one solid experience. Rhyming is the highest form of, I guess, linguistic communication. And then we're doing it rhythmically on music. So we're sampling the best music ever. And when you sample something, you're just taking the whole equation and you're kind of, I guess, holographically just snapshotting it, and you're looping it. And when you loop something, you make it cyclical. This whole thing that we figured out, I mean, I remember I always ask, what's greater, the pyramids of Giza for I guess a construct or a mechanic of language, or I guess communication? Is it the pyramids and the hieroglyph system, or is it hip hop? You know what I mean?
Mm.
But yeah, like, no, this what we're doing, what I've been able to stumble on, and how I've been able to add wrinkles and add synapses and different pathways to my brain, and kind of the synchronism of gathering all the knowledge of all happens by picking up the patterns and knowing the formula. You don't have to know all the facts if you know the formula of truth. And that everything you observe from that point, you're able to get to a solution. And hip hop has endowed me with that ability. 100%.
I would say in the Goetia, which is the books of magic, they speak about the binding aspect of rhyming English words, right? The binding aspects, the same thing with abracadabra and other.
It's incantations,
right? So even Sister Amina, you could co-sign that in ceremony.
Yes.
Right? The rhythmatic, the rhythm, the quote unquote, the binding aspects of when these words rhyme, the connectivity of words when they rhyme. Like Blue Pill speaks about the box. So when you're rhyming words, you're building a box. You're creating a rhythm. Right.
It's a 4-bar sequence.
4-bar sequence. Sacred math.
And music perception and syntax is created in the area of the brain, which is the Brodmann area 44.
That's right. So on top of a sound bed, you're creating rhyme or creating rhythm, right? Or you're creating melody with rhyme, right? So you're controlling the language. That's why the brothers from down south, the bottom, the brothers with the vernacular, with the slang, they're able to bend the English. The English language is malleable in the South and on the West Coast. And then we have a certain command of it on the East Coast, and brothers in the Midwest. Remember Do or Die out of the Midwest? The dudes with the fast flow.
Doing what I'm not.
Look and see how a person's region specifically affects their flow pattern, because flow, being this a 4-4 sequence, is controlling the wave. We're talking about waves and particles, right? A lot of different people we can associate with they live near bodies of water, but in Chicago it was cold. So they got to rhyme like this, get it like this, right?
Yeah.
I ain't got time to be rhyming to you like this when it's below 10 degrees outside. But in Houston, where you near the water, but it's more humid.
Gulf. It's the Gulf.
Right? I can rhyme to you like this because this is how the water in the air is.
And they so laid back too.
Right?
Wow.
In New York, it's different times because we do different seasons. So then the niggas might rhyme like this, and then niggas might rhyme like DAYZ too, because it's the summertime and we coming down the turnpike like this. You feel me? So even go to you can even go to some people's songs and see when them shits pop.
You can tell when they recorded it. You could tell
when they recorded it and all of that.
When Jay-Z had when he was taking summers.
The environment and the pressures of what New York different seasons do to your body and do to your mentals, because I have you in that state of mind that's identified as the New York state of mind. But the New York winter state of mind is not the same as the New York summer state of mind.
Yeah. Like Big in the winter, spit different. Big, he spit different than Big in the summer.
Remember when niggas had eagles and all of that, and you know what I mean? Only other than Method Man, niggas ain't have nasals. And Redman,
the nasal flow.
Redman, who ended up being in the group together, they the niggas that had the nasals through all 4 seasons.
Yeah, the lyricism. I'm more lyrical. My pen is more lyrical. In darkness and coldness in the wintertime. I say that hibernation process, that depression, that deep resting is how you're
in the lab. Remember the Blood Moon song?
Yeah.
Or the Pink Moon song? Remember the pressure of that weather? January.
Yeah. That's when the 4 o'clock went off.
Yo, get in the booth, and you get it out. You got a different pressure on you to create that diamond in a shorter amount of time, because you got to get in, get out, right? You got to deal with the hawk. The hawk is on you. You feel me? So,
and then the linguistics, it's more of a survival a skill of survival in New York, because it being a port and it being it being the city metropolis dynamic of how trade is done, where you have people who are doing more things of agriculture, and then in New York, it's a business model. You got a lot of lawyers, you got a lot of Italians, Jews, people that use language. That was their come on, the Yankees, you got Babe Ruth coming around, and all that shit comes from New York. When you think about that, that's what you think of. Oh, come on, man, I'm gonna take that's exactly what you're saying, but that comes from also, that's the survival tactic. That's how you, like, whoever got the slickest, if you the slickest nigga, it comes from your ability to talk.
And then down south,
right,
where the hustlers, remember, all the players play. And Fat Black Pussycat Atlanta, post Freaknik Atlanta, where there was the slick talking pimps, but then there was also the hustlers who just had that laid back Southern drawl. They was too cool to be cool. They were, you ain't saying nothing slick to a kind of prank. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. You know what I mean? They was on their Gladys Knight and Pips. So, but this down south, which is the land, is the Bible Belt. So the orators have this Martin Luther King type of, what's the flow that he had, Blue?
He had a very monotone preacher flow. That was
now the Lord shall know.
That's a very effective hypnotic flow that some people have to go to school to learn.
That's right.
People that have it naturally, they said that he had a natural knack for that. You come up through ministries, through entire generations, you know what I'm saying, utilizing the monotone nature of that particular flow, because that can draw in anyone. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like a hypnotic flow. And Southern rappers had that. Think about how effective Jeezy was. That drawl and that flow he had.
Really?
The way he drawled that, you couldn't get away from it.
It's more effective.
He was a hell of a rhymer.
That was
Been saying a whole bunch of shit. you're saying a whole bunch of shit that confuses you. He was, you know, I get a whole slab and I break it into two. Go downtown.
Yo, I promise you. I remember the first night. I'm in a limousine. I got picked up at the Royal Palm. That's when BMF came to Miami. I was in a limousine with Black O, who is Akon brother. Don't judge me. And we listening, we going to Diamonds before they even had a Diamonds before the real Diamond, before the King of Diamonds opened up in Miami, it was something called Diamonds, right? And Meech and all of them was in the club throwing. I'm talking about, this is when I'm first seeing the Make It Rain shit in real life. And we were in a limousine, a stretch limo, because they basically had mad cars just taking everybody back and forth to the hotel. And I heard the Jeezy Def Jam mixtape for the first time, right? Bruh. And everybody on the limo know everything word for word. I didn't know. This is my first experience. I'm getting Jeezy this moment. I'm getting Snowman at this moment, right? This is my Snowman moment, right? And
that's key. You say that.
Avalanche.
No, that's key. You say that. I'm gonna get back to that. Go ahead.
I woke up the next morning and I felt like I was in the crew. Like I was indoctrinated just by the music alone, because the music was a movie and then some. It was a soundtrack to a movie that I was witnessing happening in real life, that I was like, hold on, I didn't sign up. Wait, what's this? What's happening? I'm like, I'm looking for Hype Williams. I'm like, fam, when they go
right. Jeezy was
it's so no effective. Cut. The government called cut.
The feds was like, all right, action cut.
Right.
Jeezy
we let y'all do what you do.
With his conversation and his draw and his flow, even though we knew it wasn't the most lyrical, and it was I don't want to say offbeat, but it was something that we wasn't used to in hip hop, because we were still looking for lyrics. We were still looking for a standard, and we wanted to be judgmental about Southern shit. And but he was undeniable, and the fact that it was so effective, it was so simple but so effective. You know what I'm saying? Remember, he got the pass because he had the Snowman, and niggas knew it was directly being marketed to children. But they was like, yo, son, get a pass. And with that came the whole T-shirt shit came with that. When they had Tony the Tiger with the Frosted Flakes, they went on a full assault on the children, right?
That's what made me start Kings County.
That's when,
That's what made me start my clothing line, Kings County.
And this is when
to combat that.
This is when the triple B porn shit started, triple Beasleys and all of that. This is when a different type of porn started hitting the streets in New York. And this was simultaneous with Dipset lowering the moral fiber and standards in New York to an all-time low, based on the fabrication of gang culture that they was injecting into the streets at that time, and the fact that it was connecting and catching on.
Shout out to Casa and my dude Duke the God. That's my guys right there. I be running into them. And
shout out to them.
We're gonna, we've been building behind the scenes about having this deep conversation about the Dipset, the history of the Dipset, and the cultural impact that they had in the New York rap game, Harlem, just all around. Like Blue said, the interjection of the gang culture, that's a Dipset exclusive. Remember, they were bigger than Lil Wayne.
Remember
they co-signed Lil Wayne.
Yeah, they was his co-signers. That co-sign is what got him in the door officially in New York to even be considered somebody that people should listen to. And again, he didn't fail to deliver. He hit he hit a two base hit, and then the next motherfucking hit was a home run, and he ain't stopped hitting homers. And then eventually he eclipsed them.
Right. So look, the BMF wave, it comes and it smashes New York in 04. BMF is Crip by way of Jeezy being aligned with the Crip. That wasn't a blood type of thing.
In Da Vinci, right.
So when you think about Crips, you think about money,
fly Crips. The Crips represent the illustrious aspect of the gang members. Even in LA, when you think about Pop Smoke and the Flossie and whatnot, Dior, this is about money. The Crips is about more than the Bloods is not necessarily a money thing. When you think about Bloods, Casanova 2 Time, Young and May, even the Takashi Energy, they're rowdy, they're rambunctious, they're popping off. You know, they got that Larry Davis type of energy. The Crips on the
more guerrilla unit,
more guerrilla unit type stuff. The Crips on the other hand, they was representing that aspect of we're gonna be affiliated, but we're gonna get money, keep it low. We don't gotta wear blue all the time. We know what it is. We're gonna enjoy we're gonna celebrate the aspect of the feminine principle by exploiting it. That's the Crip energy. Remember snooping them with the exploitation of the woman, the Crip energy. So when that came and washed up in New York, that had a cultural impact and whatnot. You know what I'm talking about? And fast forward to New York right now, 2020, because of the Pop Smoke influence and because of the Brooklyn drill influence, it's a Crip city. You know what I'm talking about? It's definitely a Crip city. I went to see AA the other day. He showed me an article in the Daily News, and the article said that the rising shootings in the whole New York City, they're attributing it to all. They said 85% of it is all Brooklyn. They got Brooklyn shooters going to other boroughs, putting in work. You know what I'm talking about? It's like Uber Eats on the drill. They're exporting the drill to other boroughs because drill is a mind state. So there's people that's drilling that don't gotta be in the gang right now. They niggas is finding oppositions. Like, yeah, I don't like son across the street. I'm gonna drill him. You know, I'm gonna go around. I'm gonna call an Uber and go around the block and drill him. They're hopping out of Ubers drilling niggas in Brooklyn. You know what I'm saying? Car 85, like Nas said.
Again, this is the effect, the strong effect of what the music represents. The fact that the music permeates the water, which is the airwaves, right? Think about airwaves, how they show you airwaves are waves. The air is filled with water. This is flow. You know what I'm saying? This is people chopping up flow. They're drippy. You know, it's all water principles. So they're permeating the airwaves and the water, which is the mentals and the minds, with this conversation that is changing the brain waves, right? The airwaves and the flow waves change the brain waves. And then people start conforming because the environment that they live in now starts being conformed to the energy that's continuously being not only permeating but agreed upon. Because now, you know what I'm saying, I'm with the shits. It changes a whole person as being, and then that person is interfacing almost like when they show you in the Matrix when they look at each other, when when the agents and they started zapping into each other and shit like that. Like you concentrate the reality and the realness of it by the fact that you participating with it. Somebody just got to acknowledge that you part of that conversation and you in it.
Facts.
And that shit come with a whole energy.
Right.
And you can't, children are going to school and they got a way around that shit. They got a throughway. No, you got to go through that shit now. So it spills onto the stage of reality where now the people are playing it out and they're left with little to no option if it becomes the dominant energy. And that's where we're going right now. You feel
I would
me?
say that we're there right now. And yeah, I would say we're there right now. And prior to 2004, the idea of a college student selling her body for $40 willingly was somewhat unheard of, right? And I was on Clark Atlanta campus in 1997. They were promiscuous on the campus, but they were not selling their box, their body, their tesseract for $40. It wasn't something that they were like, yo, this weekend we're gonna take down as many niggas as possible. Like they were running from the wood. Now, in post BMF, remember, and 50 Cent is about to roll out the BMF series on Stars. What is that gonna do? That is going to elevate, that's going to romanticize, and that's going to push because of John. Remember, the seeds that were planted have grown into bamboo trees. what you see going on with the city girls mentality, what you see going on with these. We were just in Miami in the summertime, Blue. We were sitting on South Beach, minding our business. It was us on the hookah, and we were observing our surroundings. What was surrounding us? What was surrounding us was young women, right? Who all had a similar quote unquote signature. They had a cultural signature marker. If you're a cultural connoisseur, or if you partake in any culture, if I was into biker culture, I would be able to pick up the nuances in biker culture. I would be able to pick up the aesthetics of biker culture. I would be aware of West Coast biker culture, down South biker culture, black biker culture, Aryan biker culture, outlaw biker culture. I would be a connoisseur in the culture. So if I'm in a connoisseur of ratchet culture, my nigga, I know who's selling box, I know who's for sale, I know who's selling them, I know who's out here killing, I know who's drilling, I know who's selling drugs, I know who's on drugs. Why? Because of the fact that I've inundated myself in the culture. I watched 100,000 World Star videos, 1 million Vlad hours. You know how niggas say you got to do 100 hours to be an expert? Well, what the fuck are we? Well, where's our certificate? Where the fuck is our YouTube plaque for the time that we spent on World Star? Who are we? Like, I think I'm an expert at this point of World Star Ratchety because I gave him about 1 million hours. And we inundate ourselves in every aspect of the culture that we want to learn about. We listen to NBA Youngboy 100 million times on Spotify. So people are hip to the culture. So it's a frequency that you pick up on, and you could easily sit back like as if it was the Oculus Rift or virtual reality, and you could plug into the culture. And we plugged into the culture on South Beach. And what did we see? We saw young women of all backgrounds selling their bodies, right? They had no hangups about it. They had 18-inch. They're not even doing weaves no more. They don't respect the fucking game to whereas they're getting some shit sewn in their head. They're just throwing on anime wigs. They're not even respecting the hustle no more.
Polyester hair strand.
I'm talking about they looted the Halloween store during the George Floyd uprising. They looted Party City. Yeah, they looted Party City. And what do they wear now? The Treasure Trove, the fucking Treasure Trove wig. They're out here wearing Aqua Woman wigs, Aqua Man wigs. I'm trying to be on
good behavior, Red. Damn.
Huh?
I'm trying to be on good behavior. You is clowning.
No, I'm just trying to say
how accessible is plastic surgery too? Because I'm sure the
becoming normalized.
He's getting to that.
Look,
it's like going to the dentist for a tooth clean now.
There was two spectrums. There was 2 spectrums on the beach, and I don't want to be facetious. Build-A-Bear and Barbie. Everything in between that.
brother.
To Barbie.
Serious, that's it. That's all that was there.
It was the spectrum. Everything in between that. And you had sisters. You had sisters that was just minding their business, trying to get a tan, and we're not going to include them in what we saw. We're gonna scoop. It's almost like if we was out here fishing, we had the big net. We just gonna scoop what we scoop up, and all of the other Nemos that got away. We not talking about that. We talk about the sisters who are going underneath the knife, right? And they're going under.
I mean, that's been deeply normalized. I mean, it started with the butt shots,
but the knife turned into a machete.
Yeah, now it's everything, and people just because I tune into this whole leveling up conversation that's happening amongst a lot of women too, and I'm seeing like a multitude of women, including the plastic surgery, whether it's lipo, whether it's the Botox, the lip fillers, the body sculpting, the actual implants, all of those things are being like brought into the conversation when ideally a leveling up is you just improving your health, wealth, who you are, your standing, your relationships, everything like that. But now it's like going to this whole extreme. I mean, even in some Facebook groups I'm in, I'm seeing girls, posting RIPs about their friends that was in the group and died because of botched surgery and DR and Mexico and stuff like
Hold
that.
on. I don't want to cut your wisdom. 8 weeks. So you cannot sit on your buns for 8 weeks. They're letting some women go with no type of pain medication. Like if you had something to eat before you went and got the surgery, they're letting girls walk out of there with no medication. 8 weeks, you can't sleep on your backside while it heals. But
so what happens when you gotta sit on one of these? So that's why those waists be so snatched, because they don't want to eat no food, because that sore bottom, they can't really rest on Papa's throne like they used to. That makes sense. I mean, geez. I mean,
how can you use the restroom like that? I mean, it's just so much, and you gotta unpack like the root cause of that, and like what is the psychology? Like, what are you really trying to achieve? Like, invest your energy in, like, what does that really mean? And just like relating that to like what you said with this whole city girls mentality, what's happening with WAP being the dominant image and vibration that's being put out about young Black women, and how young Black women are like viewing themselves just in that box. Like, everybody, of course, you're gonna be having sex. Everybody should have great sex. Like, I'm not saying women shouldn't have ownership of their sexual power and who we are and how we are presenting ourselves to the world. The issue is that is the only road that's being glamorized and promoted, and like we're being programmed to normalize wanting to just, like you said, $40 now you could get whatever from a beautiful young lady who's completely out of touch with like, what are your other gifts? Some people, that is their gift, to give sexual healing, but do you even really know what that is? Do you even know what healing is, how your sexual energy is moving? Like, it's so many layers to that. So for people, like, a lot of people are taking offense to the cultural issues that people are raising with this being the dominant mentality, when they're not understanding like this is a cultural war that is being enacted on us. I'm very curious to know if even this collaboration, the timing of this song, all of that, whose actual idea it was, who is really funding that, like how is this being orchestrated? It's not just this for like, it's a whole machine behind it, and people are like, well, I want my sexual freedom. I'm not debating that. We should all have that, but it's like we got to put stuff in context. And our conversation right now, like us as a people, we're facing so many things. Our music and our main cultural exports to the world, like we need to be focusing on that. We don't need to be focusing on trying to have a snatch waist, having this, like, if you want to wear a wig or whatever, I'm not really tripping on that. They wore wigs in Kemet. It is what it is. If you're addicted to this look, though, if you are addicted to seeming like you are becoming this Instagram version of people, that you're doing all this so that you can attract men, that you can then try to play for whatever and get your financial come up that way, like that, you just have to unpack that a lot and really, drill down to like our self-worth that's being stripped from us by making us just automatically think that that's our only role, especially for Black women, in having like a sense of success in the world. Like there's nothing else that is gearing the like the overwhelming international conversation and export that's coming out. And we have to like stop that in its tracks in terms of like this whole prostitution mentality that we thinking like that's the way to do things. And I'm also saying that on the flip side, yeah, I'm never going to accept any rusty, crusty, or dusty energy into my life from any man that I'm with. So I'm not saying people can come to you and not have anything. I'm just saying you shouldn't, it has not been a wise thing for me in my life to just look at people for the material gain I get from them in the moment and not analyzing their character, their spirit, all those other things. You just, whoever got a Benz and whoever can cash out for the night, that should not give them access to all of these parts of you.
Think about the irony of this. The fact is that a few months ago, even technically leading up to now, the world is having a conversation about an invisible enemy invading our bodies and our bodies being so precious, right? Building our immunity, not doing this no more. You got to put mask on. You do all of these things to be COVID clean, right? And to dodge an invisible invader, but an aspect of promiscuity, of allowing people, right, foreign entities into your whole universe, right? Your body is your temple. It's your whole universe. It's your access to a whole nother dimension and portal. And people are just, you know what I'm saying? I'm just even talking about the conditioning in society, even about being COVID clean, and that even totally being left out of the conversation. Okay, well, what's the new standard now about how you source your box? You know what I'm saying? You just jumping into anything, because you was just telling me a minute ago how body conscious you was and how health conscious you was, and you was wiping off your but you ain't see a COVID condom commercial yet. Ain't nobody come out with a COVID alternative about how to get inside without necessarily coming into contact with shit. You know what I mean? There's not been no emphasis put on it. So I mean, you could tell some things don't add up to other things, right? And we also can see definitely there was engineers behind this. But what I'm saying is that even if I'm a social engineer and an evil genius, I'm going to fulfill the mandate of the fact that if Mars is in Aries, I'm going to get everybody to focus on the blood, because that's what Mars and Aries represent. The whole world is talking about the engorged vaginal walls or the pillars of these two women's vulvas, of their vaginas, where the most blood is located. You can like magnetize in whatever you magnetize between the poles, you control. You feel me? So this woman is also the person that they choose to be the mouthpiece for Black America to the Democratic candidate, right? And these people's whole shtick as Democrats is violating that portal. You know what I'm saying? And doing what they do with it. These niggas is pedophiles, right? I mean, even without us hearing lopsided accusations against the nigga, you could see him in action and be like, oh, he's a dirty old nigga. You know what you're looking at. And if you, again, are denying your ability to discern in 2020 and come up with your own conclusions, right? What is your personal decision 2020, right? That's an internal decision and conclusion you have to come with. And when you start questioning yourself and you know, going through your checklist, then you're gonna be able to see a lot of this other shit for what it is. My whole thing is they put a boat in a current that's gonna take it somewhere anyway because of the energy that was present. So because the whole concept of the Christos or the Christ or the nigga Christ energy, as Kambada would say, we just left out of Leo, which was the king. Now we're in Virgo. The whole aspect of Christ is the Leos on the cross, right? He represents Tipharoth on the tree of life, the sixth Sephiroth. He is the Christ, the king. He's on the cross and he's balanced between Cancer, which is the mother, and Virgo, which is the woman. That's the challenge of a king. We are at the point in time cosmically where after August 20th, we have now received our coronation as a people who have come out of 400 years of slavery. You do 1 year of a jubilee, which is a celebration. You settle your debts and people make their atonements to you. We just witnessed that as a people. We partied the whole quarantine. We partied in December when we went back to Ghana for the year to return They did $1.9 billion in under 30 days. What do you think the rest of this year was going to look like of 2020 with us going back to the continent, doing big black business, right? So even look about Entrepreneur on the last day of Leo comes out. King Disease on the last day is, you know what the fucking King Disease is? Envy, right? So his setup shows you in a cosmic example what the King's Disease is. Yo, imagine if it was 2 kings or 4 kings controlling the kingdom and putting our resources together instead of 1. Y'all see what this nigga's doing to me? That's how kings keep on getting chopped down, because they can't form a kingdom with other kings that have establishments of their kingdoms to bring together the empire. Right? These niggas are sitting on M's, and that shit is non-conducive because the people right now, and you could connect with the people and be a hell of a social entrepreneur. You could turn a $10 million investment to $100 million quick by creating incubator communities for creatives and geniuses. And you could put down fucking container homes and you know what I'm saying, prefab homes. You ain't got to spend no bread. You could get that shit on credit, my nigga. Y'all niggas got hedge funds. What are you talking about? And you got friends that's real estate developers. Niggas could take it on the arm and do it for you. You just got to make a phone call. So, I mean, there's a lot of aspects of what we are bearing witness to right now that is very biblical, it's very spiritual. It's aligned with a mythos that we are acting out. So the melanated woman is the most pivotal piece on the chessboard, because she represents the woman, the womb mind. A womb is a mind and man is mind. So she's the double mind. She's the heaviest element, right, on the planet in terms of any embodiment of who we are, sentient beings, because she has that motherfucking womb and that mind. She's mind. And her magnetic field makes her the heaviest, right? She comes into contact first with the cosmos in terms of what is our thought, what is our intent, and what is our purpose. That has to be put out into the permeation of space, and it comes into contact with the solar winds, because she comes into contact with the sun's magnetic field before we do. So it's beyond pivotal that we at least make a play to remind some of these women that they have cosmic destiny. You know what I'm saying? And that attainment comes by way of them being in that highest divine feminine force, because it has to represent the throne through which, you know, we got to build something back up. You feel me?
Right.
We just can't sit and let this shit fall on us and make music about it, knowing damn well it's going to fall. Right? The music is so we can acquire the resources to build out our fucking art, which is our own reality, the shit that we rapping about. The world that we're pushing to create, we can make those worlds right now.
Yeah, I agree.
We're gonna need the creative force, right? As you know, the mooring of the ship, and that comes with the divine feminine. So, you know, we need to create a space for them, and you're not gonna be able to connect with them all, but you don't need them all, right? Reddit tell you, I was able to make it stop raining 2 times in the past 3 weeks. I did it last Sunday at American Beach. When I went on to speak, it was raining. I said, yo, I ain't come up here to teach y'all niggas or talk to y'all about no theories or none of that shit. I said, we're gonna make it stop raining right now, and I'm gonna start my lecture, right? And if I can't do this, what the hell am I gonna be standing up here talking to you about some super power shit that you're supposed to be able to do? So we did a synchronized breathing in under 4 minutes. Not only did I stop all of the rain from stopping, but the sun came out bright, 10 degrees hotter.
And it was a rainbow.
And it brought the twin rainbow. Now, and we flatlined the entire ocean out where there was no waves.
No waves.
It became still.
Wow.
And that was the second time that I did that, because I did it in Miami as well.
Facts. Now, we don't bring out the rainbow flag. We bring out rainbows. Go ahead.
So if I was able to do that with about 20 or 30 people, right? A good concentration, which was melanated women. What can we do with 10,000, 100,000, right? Empowered minds with a particular intent and vision to say, they're going to do what they're going to do. You know what I'm saying? If you want to do something, now's the time to do something different. Now's the time to start building out that world that you're dreaming about and envisioning. And that's the only thing you be focused on. Building out something that's opposite of what's about to fall. Because this is what happens in the fall of fucking societies.
This is exactly what happens.
We trying to hold this. No, this is falling. You can't hold it up.
And this is exactly the Kali Yuga.
It's supposed to look. This is how it sounds. You feel me?
Right.
The harlots are celebrated. This is where we at. So if you want to see something different, now is the time for like minds to come together, because it's not that impossible to get low and build your whole shit out. You know what I'm saying? We should have the access to the resources, because now we could demonstrate what does divine sex on our side look like. If it's not instant manifestation, throw that shit back. Go get you some WAP, my nigga. Right? Because they was the battery force for BMF and all of Atlanta to go. It was the strippers was the battery. The strippers was the battery for the music industry down here. Yeah. The strippers is the feminine principle in Atlanta. However, people perceive it to be found when they observe it. It's the battery of Atlanta.
Oh, for sure.
Whether this shit has some fucking acid battery fluid in it or not.
And I wanted to say that because of the fact that the woman is the battery, you know, the mentality that's being promoted where it's about, you know, we're looking for a scammer, or we're looking for a trapper, or we're looking for a dope boy, you know, what responsibility does the divine feminine have in still perpetuating this vicious cycle that young black men are going through, where they're criminalizing themselves to keep up and to be favored, because women are the ones that choose. You choose us. We don't choose y'all per se. They say that the women are choosing. So if the mentality that the city girls are telling young women, teenager women, young adult women, and even women in their 50s and 60s, they look, the new quote unquote top of the hierarchy, the new capstone that we all aspire to sleep with, right? The buck that we are all trying to fuck is this guy right here. When she said it, then Meg said it, then Cardi said it, and then Nikki came and she was pregnant and she said it. So if enough of these top bad bitches say it, then mentally young black men who could be doing things like, you know, tapping into their skill sets and, you know, being an LLC owner, or, you know, not taking penitentiary chances, but taking it into an entrepreneurial mind state. They're not enticed to do these things when the women who they feel are the lioness, the top, you know, because when you do the mating ritual, you're trying to impress, right, a certain pedigree of the female, so she could choose you, so your DNA could procreate, because there's alpha females the same way there's alpha males. And like Blue Pill said, in Atlanta, the alpha female is in a strip club. The alpha female is the top bitch who gets the most bags, or even a top bartender. Right? Yeah, the top gamer.
Right. They run the city.
They run the city.
They got the keys to the city. They got the ear of everybody that's influential in the city.
They got the keys to the city. Mm-hmm. So theoretically, they could have had a level. They could have had a militia, like In Fact. They could have had a secret society. They could have had a hit team running through if they really wanted to, because they have enormous influence. They are the proverbial queen on a chessboard. They could go into rooms, into buildings, into places that the king on the chessboard, the black king, could not go into. Mm-hmm. That's in Las Vegas, that's in LA, that's in New York City, especially, that's in Atlanta, that's in Miami. Y'all could go into places that we could never go into. Y'all move, you rub shoulders, you mix and mingle. And why we were saying that the whole culture is very dangerous in times at war is because there's no loyalty in the whole culture. They showed you that in Players Club with Diamond. They was dancing for the police. So what are you saying? Yeah, you know, the women only can answer the call. They can't choose. They don't have the all of them don't have the quote unquote luxury.
And I think even the thing about what we had witnessed in Miami, you know, that observation hit at a time when the conversation was about melanated women saying black men don't protect us, right? And everybody tried to jump in on that conversation. And they was like, oh, you're not a real man if you make distinctions. And we like, yo, if you out here selling your box, how can I protect you, right? I'm not just,
there has to be rules
I'm not your pimp. I can't, you know, if you engaging in a lot of goofy shit out here doing drugs and making yourself open and susceptible, how can somebody that's outside of that dynamic possibly protect you? You know, so it's almost impossible with the behavior and the fact that there is no standards. You know what I'm saying?
The gangbangers are not going to.
It's real tricky. You know?
So for sex workers who are working with sex, they are employed, they have employees, they are employed, they're making money, they're in a multi-billion-dollar industry, and they're asking, where's your protection? Well, goddamn it, what's the budget? How much do you have, and what are you willing to pay? Don't play retardo.
That's a pimp.
That's exactly right. When you want to go somewhere, you call Uber. So if you want to get some protection, you're gonna call Uber Heat, nigga, not Uber Eats. You have to call up Uber Heat and have somebody pull up.
It's somebody you give money to for some kind of like if a prostitute is hiring and giving money to some guy for anything, that's
That's the game.
So, I don't mean to make light of it. Technically, a lot of times when I hear about crazy shit, my face goes like this, and a laugh is the only other thing to do but cry. But yeah, like essentially, I mean, it is a real primitive facet. I don't think it's gonna go anywhere because it works and it makes a lot of money. And it's one of those things, like you said, man, like gang violence happens because they make almost like a subconscious oath that they're getting killed for, you know. And when you are somebody who is a prostitute and you're actually having a that kind of intimate experience with somebody you don't know for money, I mean, it is probably the most risky thing that you could do on earth. One of the most risky things that you could do, because then you have to look at the character of the man that would be buying it. Not all of the people that are buying it are, you know, some of them are just married guys or some guy that might not, you know, have a way with women like that. So in some ways it is a cool service, but on the dark end of it, there are a lot of insane people out there that will rape you to just get a, you know, that are violent, that, you know, that's the dark world. Those are the dark arts. So yeah, you are actually, and some people, you know, they have no choice. There's countries around this world where, you know, in America, I mean, we already know what we're looking at. I see bums in the subways wearing Jordans here. You know what I mean? So it's more of a psychological thing in here rather than the actual economic poverty of trying to survive and find food. Because to be real, you could go past a garbage can and find a half-eaten box of Chinese food and be full and get no disease from it. And but there's people in you know, I saw some stuff in Nigeria, Libya. There's hardcore, like the only other thing to do besides kill people and take what they have is be a prostitute. If you're a woman, you're just a prostitute. It's just like the only way that you can eat. So in those circumstances, those people have to do it here. There in these circumstances, it's like it's
important here to do that now. Here, like this
condition.
This is what it means to grow up and be a successful Black woman in our society and be cool and be hip and be popping. Is you're aligning yourself just to that and defining yourself like that. And I'm not saying that, again, it's very important that especially we as women, as Black women, that we have
ownership of our sexuality, of our sexual energy, of our bodies, our minds, our souls, our spirits, everything about us. We should have ownership, control, agency over. The issue is when this just becomes the dominant narrative, the dominant lane, the dominant mindset that we are all being geared to equate with being a young, Black, successful woman. And we're normalized, when we normalize it on the end where you're seeing it with this whole WAP explosion that has happened, right? And how this is like the #1 song, it's the first #1 record of a female hip hop duo. It, you know, when Black is King came out and Beyonce, you know, just a few weeks ago, came out with her whole thing, you know, she had like 15 million views in the first week and it's popping. Everybody's talking about it. It's cool. WAP in a week got like 150 million views. You know what I'm saying? And it's just dominated, blown everything out of the water. But we have to ask, when we normalize it on that level to where we're now taking, there's going to be sex work, sexual healing, sexual energy in every aspect of our lives and of our culture. That is not the issue. The issue is when this is now taken and made to be the dominant fabric of our cultural ethos and makeup as people, to where this is what we hearing on the radio, it's what we hearing everywhere, and it's just, there's nothing to counterbalance that. It becomes a huge issue when that is where we're seeing on the top. So then what does that mean for my city in Oakland right now? 80% of the teenage girls that are being found in what's called the commercial sexual exploitation of children, CSEC, or being sexualized commercially, 80% of those under 18 are Black girls. You can drive down East 14th Street, which is one of the major streets here in my city, and you can see them in the daytime. You can see them at the nighttime. We have so many motels, no-tails, hotels. Parking lots are full all the time, and people ain't traveling like that.
I had an
so,
event.
like, this normalizes that.
I had an event in Oakland for Malcolm X weekend. Me and Baba G went out there, and the festival happened to be on a Sunday.
Right over there. So, yeah, the festival's right over there.
Yo, we must have got there early. We got there like 6:30, my nigga. They was out there, son. And they was young.
You was right in the thick of where it's all going down.
The pimps was on bikes, right? The pimps was on bikes, then they would have, then they would come and pick them up in the whips, take shorties, they would bring them, like I seen, because I was going to the store to get supplies. So I kept having to walk through this shit. So I seen them change shifts and everything. Yo, it was real, son. Like
rampant. Rampant.
Yeah, and they was running them through it. You feel me?
Yeah.
It goes down.
Yeah, I seen that in Chicago. I seen the 14-year-olds hugging the block. You know what I mean? With the high heels, with the lipstick on. Like, you know, this is the world that we live in. Again.
How much seed are we spilling, dude? Is there enough erections in the world? Jesus. Oh my God.
No, the hypersexualization.
We're literally fucking like cicadas, dude. We're literally just we're eating and fucking. We're shitting.
Hey,
Oakland too. What I'm seeing with this, like what you just expressed, Blue, and what you saw. Mm-hmm. The thing about Oakland is that you gotta look at who are the customers. The customers out here, I don't want to call them customers, but the people who are paying and really benefiting off of this are not Black. They are a lot of Latinos, Asians, white people, who most of them, they, in their mind, they're listening to what is being promoted as what we are and what our culture is, and that cultural dominant narrative, and then they just playing it out.
You know, my thing is,
and then there's no, you know what I'm saying? Like for this to be going on here in my city, and I've seen some people in the comments, like they in Oakland, they see it, and we still have in our hip hop culture out here, it's still pimp heavy. It's still pimp heavy. And then now the national is very hoe heavy to where people, you know, have this whole idea of hoeing is like it's just normal. Some people, you know, especially, and this is another point I really want everybody on here to think deeply about, is when you're getting new into African culture and you're learning about African spirituality, you have to understand a lot of the information has been gentrified. It has been totally diluted, conflated, confusing stuff put out. So some people, even in the post that I reference, are, you know, trying to say that our female orishas or our female expressions of divine energy, or what it means to be divine energy or goddess, is hoeing. That is, you could be doing that and it's fine because you're just expressing yourself, and they're not really understanding that there is a moral code, there is a morality piece, there is like integrity. You do good, it's going to come back to you. When you do negative, it's going to come back to you. So whatever you're, you know, looking at, like, you have to understand that energy. So even, you know, people are saying, well, they're just expressing sexual freedom or whatever, like, but I'm not gonna accept you promoting sexual irresponsibility. So if WAP is the first thing on somebody's mind when they meet you, like, what else are you going to, where is the conversation gonna go from there? That's the goal. That shouldn't be where the journey starts. If you start out the game just with that, where else are you taking it? Like, that's gonna get, everybody's now throwing that out there. So what is gonna make you different? Like, what's that?
So is it like a gateway? Are you saying it's like a gateway drug? So like we see the imagery of it. The next step would be, you know, putting it on social networking. Then you got actually stripping, and then does that always segue into hoeing? So what percentage of these strippers, in your opinion, are actually
an experience? That,
so
right,
it doesn't always equate. What percentage of strippers?
Hold on.
Now it's probably a huge part of the game, because to keep your customers in the strip club, I would imagine, based on what I saw and experienced back in the day, I realized really quickly that the lines were very thin in terms of a lot of people that you saw come in, making it rain and doing things. It was a whole other relationship that was happening with them and the people that was getting rained on. With the girls in the club, it was all kind of other dynamics going on. So I would, and that is, you know, really, when I was in that lifestyle, probably after about 6 months, I was so disgusted with things before. By the time I got to about 6 months in, I was just, it was a lot of disgusting, perverse, just, whoa, that is the first time in my life I decided to become celibate, is when I got in that line of work, because I was like, it just can't get no lower than what I'm seeing people, you know what I'm saying, just on. I'm seeing guys, like, I was just disgusted to my core. So at 20 years old, that was my first time, like, even journeying on that, because I was like, well, this is a, like, I just saw people's soul just totally gone, their whole essence and just like spirit totally poof, taken to this other worldly place. And then just realizing, like, yeah, I'm disgusted by what I'm seeing from men. I'm also not sexually attracted to women. I just got to step back. But I still, at that time, was like, I still have to, I got in this to come up and get this money. So I still stayed in it some time after that, try to achieve that goal. But right now to where things are going on, and just the cultural current that has happened to where it is just deeply normalized for people to think that is a viable path to get your success, when you don't take the time to really look within yourself and see, like, what is your divine purpose? What are your divine gifts? What are your talents that you could be really giving to the world to make your true success? Whereas you're just thinking that your immediate road to success is to promote your body and your sexual skills and endowments in a way to where you're just going to attract money from a man who maybe has found his divine gifts and is being successful, instead of you just doing that yourself, and you then attract somebody who's going to be successful because you're successful. You're not just putting, like, a lot of women are limiting their destiny capacity just by focusing on what they look like and how they could have hook and dude with good sex, and just that's it. Like, you still got, I'm not saying you shouldn't be having good sex and have your body together and have everything together, but like, we have to elevate even like our self-esteem as women in terms of like, I'm like, when I just bossed up on my own life and start tapping into my gifts and talents, just not on just how I looked and how I could pull a dude that's successful using his gifts and talents, it just elevated the status of my life in ways that now it's blessed me so much that I'm like, it would be up to me to not share the wisdom that I learned with.
Let me show something real quick.
Pulling a dude who has reached his success capacity without us.
Right. I want to show you this real quick because you brought up something about where's the WAP thing going. So I just want to show you where it's going. Can y'all see? Can you see the screen?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna cut the volume off because I don't want it to. Lord. I don't want the copyright. Yeah, it starts in the Bronx, so not safe for work. If y'all over there at Denny's and whatnot, if you at Walmart watching this, yeah, you might want to walk away.
Some dudes in bed with their girls right now. They don't want to see this. They're gonna say, "Baby, what you watching?"
This is where it's going. This is on New York City Transit.
What?
You saw somebody's grandmother just now, right? Somebody's grandmother was sitting down trying to go home, and now she's on Beyonce's internet with the WAP crew. They took over
and Gomorrah, like lotus flower, wild animalistic shit.
Right, but this is where it's going though. This is where the hedonism is going, right? And it's usually the men.
Guys, there's like two guys,
but these men don't want one. Some of these men are not interested in women in a sexual way, but they are there for the exploitation. Remember,
12 penises even to enjoy this.
Yeah, so that's in New York. That's what they're on the bus doing, and yeah, that's something that the young women will watch and be like, yo, that's lit, that's fly, they're gonna go viral, that's hot, that's lit, they're gonna want to get drunk.
Challenge.
Yes, but that's Kali Yuga energy in full display. So we are in these days and times. We are in this period. We are in this epoch. Women like you, Sister Amina. There's a sister out there, Sister Vicky Dillard. I have my sister, our sister Zaza Ali. We got MCs out there like Sarak, Narubi Selah. We have a plethora. There are many other sisters, and forgive me if I don't name you at the moment, sisters, but there are a plethora. There's a voice, there's a level of wisdom, there's some stories that we need to hear, there's the balance that needs to be introduced so men of a certain caliber and quality could say to themselves, well, I have a measurement now, because some men don't even have a measurement when it comes to Meg Thee Stallion and Cardi B, because they'll use the cop-out excuse that they don't know anybody outside of that. And then you be like, what about your mama? And they'll be like, I don't have a relationship with her. Or, you know, some of them honestly could be like, well, she's like a Cardi B. So we need women to just provide the clean glass and to provide balance and to say, look, you might be looking at Meg Thee Stallion at 22, but look at Imina at 32. This is called experience and wisdom, because we all went through our wild periods. So
Yes.
we're not sitting here judging. All we doing is smudging. We're just trying to share some wisdom with you about experience, to say, look, you would fare better if you were to add value to who you are and what you represent, right? Internally, before you got to figure it out the hard way. Some people figure that out in their 40s.
Yeah,
Figure it.
because
Right.
what if we are just observing their cocoon phase, right? We're a little bit further down the road in our transformation, but we all came through our cocoon phase. We all came, through something to arrive to where we at. But
Right.
we're looking back, and our observation is these people coming through their cocoon phase. You know what I'm saying? They haven't even gotten to their chrysalis phase, let alone a butterfly phase. So, there's a ways to go. The question is, do we have the time? Like I said, we already know what it is at this particular point. So if we want to do something different, we're gonna have to do something different. It's gonna have to be drastically different than what we've already been doing, because that's not gonna work. Like you said, the social current, the waves, the energy in the atmosphere, right? The fishbowl that we all exist in is wiped out. You're not gonna escape it. And you're gonna have to be like a Doctor Strange magician to put a bubble around your children to protect them from it. Even if you build their mental up, it's
Right.
seeping in. You got to create something totally outside of the structure of this, because it's and like because it's backed by machines, it's a very powerful force. But what I'm
Okay.
saying is that
I want
it's
to add on.
amplified by the cosmic canopy that supports it.
Yes, I want to add this on at our 3 hour mark. That on September the 11th, which is the 19th anniversary of the catalyst to consciousness, and we call that 9/11. That was the day that launched millions of us into this path that we're on, called consciousness. It's erroneously titled the conscious community. What I want to say is 9/11 was our matrix red pill moment. On 9/11, we're going to celebrate those 19 years in Atlanta. We are going to have a performance on, it's called the Mystical Fair Weekend. The Mystic Fair Weekend. It is the Mystic Fair Weekend is given by Ty Sealy's Raw Reality. If anybody is in the anybody in the Atlanta area or in the spiritual, right, the spiritual conscious network, Mama Ty Sealy is an oracle in our community. So we are performing on Friday, which is on September the 11th. I'm not 100% sure if Blue Pill will be performing, because he has a responsibility that he has with Father Rich. They are starting their
our 7-day Kundalini workshop is starting on September 11th at 11 p.m.
Right.
But I will be there nonetheless at some point throughout the day, and I actually I have a slot on Sunday on the 13th. I close it out.
Right.
The Mystic Fair. So I'll be in the building, and we also do invite the family to join us for the 7-day Kundalini workshop that you can find on Eventbrite.
So
keep it rising.
I'll be performing my new album Red Summer
Cambada will be there performing LSD, cuts off of LSD. Sister Amina will be there performing cuts off of Ghetto the Goddess. Not only are we lecturers, but we also are going to tap into the musical artistic frequency of healing through sound and of performance art. I'm not a rapper, I'm a performance artist. So is Blue Pill, Cambada, and Sister Amina. We transform into a higher self on those stages, and we give a piece of ourselves as artists, as alchemists, and we want you to witness that. Now, this Sunday coming up, August 30th in Atlanta, I will be doing a lecture at 640 in West. That's called the Unity
Cafe.
and Cafe. Yeah,
Unity Coffee and
it's the Unity Cafe, right there in the West End. And that's from the hours.
640 Evans Street.
640 Evans Street. That's from the hours of 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. August the 30th. The performance that we were going to do on the 29th is going to be on 9/11. We're pushing that to 9/11. September the 11th. We're going to ritualize that day. We're going to tap into the Ethiopian New Year. They will be closing out their 2012 on 9/11. Which will coincide. Yes, they will coincide with the 19th year anniversary. Shout out to 19 Keys, the 19th year anniversary of 9/11, which will also coincide with the Mystic Fair in the very electrified Atlantis, Georgia, Red Clay, Georgia, Atlanta, KTL and the ATL. So be there for the lecture this weekend. We may have special guests because, like I said, we're not just hair club members, we're also the president. So we don't just perform, we also teach. So you may see one of these three people with me on this panel right now, opening up and teaching you on Sunday, August 30th in the ATL. Just be there either on live stream or be there in the flesh. We will have vendors in the building. We'll have merch in the building. Goldwater, Kings County, jewelry will be in the building. Food will be in the building. Pull up, be there, just pull up pull up on your peoples. And we look forward to meeting you and greeting you, building with you, and sharing some moments with you, an experience, because that's what this is about. Experience, something that you can't have all the time through your phone. It's very important to have it face to face. So yes, that's my that's my announcement for what's taking place. So everyone is clear. We're doing the performance September 11th, and we're doing the lecture August the 30th. Black August is called From the Judas and the Blackamoor Messiah, presented by Red Pill from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. So be in the building. And we have tickets in the description for anybody that wants to begin to purchase. But please go ahead.
Mm-hmm. We got the golden tickets. Look at the
Are we closing out? What are we doing, Red?
I just wanted to make that announcement. We're not necessarily closing out at the moment. I would say let's give it about 10 more minutes. Or are you ready to close out?
Yeah, I got 5%. I had a business meeting I had to attend at a hookah bar. I think that's not gonna happen.
The hookah burnt, the hookah smoked up. All of them charcoals is done.
Hey.
But I think that we said a lot, this evening, and we got some good perspectives out there. I don't want too much celery to ruin the soup. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. I love the balance. I love the aspect of what the goddess was bringing. Her story was very genuine. It was very transparent. It was, I felt like everyone else felt. We were in goddess theater. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
So it's not, and we don't get to hear that a lot in this community. So we appreciate it.
Right.
We got a lot of love for all of our frontline soldiers in the community of both genders, but for our sisters, the ones who are stepping up, you know, like the sister Meg the Stallion said, you know, the black woman feels unprotected. So we want to make sure that our sisters on the front line are cloaked in divine masculine energy, to know that they're protected, to know that they are going to be, you know, just held down while they do what they got to do. But at the same time, we will also, you know, sharpen each other's swords. This is not a yes men type of thing. We're not sitting up here just going along with anything. We're going to ask questions. We're going to share perspectives. And some of us will even challenge. So
yes.
Salute to you, Amina, for being out there. Like I said, you've been holding it down for many, many moons. The progression, the growth, everything is honorable. Is you know, me and Blue will definitely give you your flowers. You know, you've grown exponentially over the years. So we look forward to more of the growth and development, and you shining your light and tearing them stages up. You know what I'm talking about?
That's right.
Tear those things down. Tear those things down, you know. Tear them down and build them back up even nicer, you know.
Now, for you, Mr. Kambata, I have nothing but heavy praises, you know, high adulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
If the energy of when you put out an album or a project, if the energy and the reciprocation that people gave back was in monetary terms, you would be a trillionaire.
Yeah.
You know, the album stays on repeat. It passed the test of having longevity, of being an album that you could listen straight through. It's a masterpiece. I know this is your baby. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You and Blue have babies. You know, they're not ones that have, they live in the ethers.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, the Law 44, that's Blue's baby. That the health and wellness that he pushes, his brand, his even Seamoss. I seen Seamoss become promiscuous and have a lot of children. Yeah, that gold water. Remember, I mean it. Blue was hitting the Seamoss. Him and the Seamoss was laying up. That was his girl. I'm talking about. That was his. That was his.
Oh, that was his.
That was his bottom.
That was his woman. That's A1. Blue pillow.
Then he started working out, and she got away somehow.
Everybody seen she had that wagon in the back.
Rock. You got a mix slide. That Seven Heaven had that wop. Oh Lord, wait.
You did. She's a toe tickler.
Yeah, now everybody got it.
I mean, yeah.
That's a real.
She like hip hop, you know what I'm saying? She like hip hop. The whole world got it now. But Kambata, you know,
Wow.
LSD was also a page and a fulfillment of this prophecy that I was speaking about this year called the Corona Rising. And the Corona Rising was the manifestation of a cosmic force that came alive and awoke inside of people, you know, who, like I said, who are entangled or they are tethered to the story that they have tied themselves to, with the fact that our people are so religious, our people are also entrenched and entwined in aspects of Christianity, even, you know what I'm saying? Then their ancestral self ties into that narrative, and their cosmic self ties into that narrative, and their now self ties into that narrative. You know what I'm saying? So when I seen you on that cusp of Cancer, you know, right next to Leo on your 33rd, come out with LSD, and that represents the moon and the sun. You dig what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
Then you got the nigga Christ, and I watched your live when the album came out, and you were doing commentary about each cut.
Yeah.
You know, and we went through that journey, you know, that cosmic journey with you. You know, that was the Corona Rising. And as far as I'm concerned, I'm like, look, this is the manifestation of it. You know, this is somebody who personifies it in their life. You know what I mean? you easily released what to me was the most complete piece of 2020 because it spoke specifically to the time that we were in, and it gave people, you know, backlog conversation about not only the time, but you provided a soundscape for what the future sounds like.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Like the way that you templated your album is the way the albums have to be done in this new world that we live in. You dig what I'm saying? And the fact that because it also had this psycho this what you call it, you know, psychedelic appeal to it, it made it dimensional even in the sonics of it, even the way that you hear it. And then you went, you know, even not only rhyming, but you know, exploring the aspects of singing in it. You know what I'm saying? It's an Aquarian age artifact. You feel me?
Yeah.
So
I mean,
once again, like I said, I'm making these observations that probably will be fully realized and calculated 30, 50, 60 years into the future. You know what I'm saying? But this is what these moments in time represent. You feel me? So when I observed it and when I witnessed that, I was like, you know, we are seeing, you know, we are seeing things that are fulfillment. You know, the book is open and the seals are broken, and we are witnessing people come into these things, you know, these pockets and these moments in time that we read so much about, but we became mystified by them. You dig what I'm saying?
yes.
For there to be a time when there was Orishas, for there to be a time when there was prophets, for there to be a time when there was messengers, there has to be all of that right now. You feel me? And we are bearing witness to the people who are etching that, you know, in the cosmic, you know what I'm saying? Like when you go to a funeral and you gotta sign that book,
Yes.
yeah, that shit right there.
That
So
part.
yeah, that part, you know, Sister Mina, I know who you are. I've observed your transformation. I've seen you on stage and performance. I still have the footage from Juneteenth when we was down here last year tearing it up.
Hey.
You feel me? And you gave a cosmic performance at a very cosmic time. It was something going on in the sky at that time. I forgot what it is specifically, but I'm like, look at her. She's right on time. She's representing that energy. She put the ancestors in her performance. Spirits was in the building with you. We all picked that up. You know what I'm saying? Spirits was in you. You feel me? Like I seen the whole demonstration, so I know the energy that you carry, and I know where your passion comes from. You know what I'm saying? What I'm telling you is that it's time to use the cosmic energy of divine femininity to attract your tribe. You know what I'm saying? And then y'all gotta go and create somewhere else that's more divine. You know, the earth is big and that shit is wide open right now. You know, it might not be open all the time, and
Right.
it might totally open, but it got to be open here first. You know, it's time for us to say enough is enough. You're not gonna reverse this shit, but you could build something that's far more superior to it. If in fact, you know, you look to give spirit, you know what I'm saying, that place that it deserves on that altar, you know what I'm saying, that pedestal that you know these women is built of. They're gonna have the same urges that you having, but a lot of them is now just going through their journey, and we watching teenagers in the cosmic sense of us being adults and elders. You feel me? And the whole world is being run by teenagers because their president is a fucking teenager. Like, and that has a strong permeation on society. Who sits in that seat and what energy that they giving off to the rest of this country, because that sets the current as well. That sets the social current. This is a very childish environment that we live in
Right.
because of the politics. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
For real.
And
For real.
the stuff that requires a lot of deep shit or you know heavy food that you got to break down. Like nah, feed them. It's baby food season. Like
Feed
you know
them
what I mean.
pink.
But
It is baby food season.
but at the same time,
That Gerber babies out here.
that Gerber baby. But at the same time, a LSD can still be the ripple effect. You feel me?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
there's still enough people who still remember
Mm-hmm.
and who know what classic, you know what I'm saying, context and sonics is when they hear it. So
Mm-hmm.
to me, it's like the chronic of 2020. Like the
Right.
sonics is different. You feel
Yeah.
me?
Yeah. Yeah. I think
So
that's been my plight as an artist, is to have a level of self isolation to where I'm unaffected, so I can create as pure and authentic as possible. And you know, I was reading the message, and someone in message that, and unless my music can affect the youth, then essentially I'm losing. I think just from a personal my personal relationship with music is from the aspect of a youth, meaning that I took something that I realized when I was a youth, and that's if I isolate my time with my imagination, I can make magical things happen. And I've been stubborn in the fact that I've been able to keep this going into my adult age. So I create for the sheer force and for the purpose of creating something that is obscurely abstract but relatable enough to where I can give people new discoveries mentally. I'm not worried about age, any of that stuff. I honestly do this for complete separate. I just dropped this album, and I've been in silence since. It's postpartum depression I get. You know, it's because I don't see. I once I get to the top of Mount Everest, I realize that there's another Mount Everest two times as big. So my only time after an album is enough rest to allow my rubber band to go back. But my purpose sees no end. There very little time to celebrate because there is an angst, there's an urge inside of me beyond my body. I don't even care about. Literally, I struggle with being a rapper and being this personified image and interacting and doing shows and stuff like this. I'm being controlled. I'm an avatar, man. It's like I've been drawn to this. I was born at this specific time, so I can do this. For what reasons, I don't know. How selfish they are. How much is it for children and to change people's minds and inspire people? I don't know. I know that I'm drawn to it, and it's the only thing I do in states of isolation. It's the only thing that truly makes me happy beyond love and family and stuff. So it's unexplainable, but I know that the other people who are understand how deep it is and how it's a state of possession. It's a trance. You don't know what's going on, man. It's crazy.
Definitely.
So I don't have control. My point is to create it. Once it's there, you do with it as you please.
Definitely. I just want to say, keep creating, bro.
Thank you.
Your music is timeless, and to be a teenager and to be hip to Cambada, that's a cheat code. You're gonna be a teenager that's gonna be ahead of the pack. So if you have a son or a daughter and you want to equip them with some cultural cheat codes, you need to trick them into listening to some Cam. And just once they hear the right song, they're gonna be locked in. Especially if your child is not one of those bandwagons and they appreciate artists that are non-discovered. I remember when I was put on to Drake before Lil Wayne met him. Somebody was floating around some of his songs and whatnot. And when he blew up, I felt honored that I was like, dude, I was listening to him in the whip years before he became this name to make everybody feel like when everyone is saying your name, that's supposed to mean something. Whereas we go with quality of membership. We're not really into the masses, which tend to be the asses that are not necessarily connoisseurs of the culture. They don't even know culturally what they may be listening to. And that's nothing to take away. But we know that we had it emitted from the mouths of listeners of hip hop, that they're not in it for the lyrics. They're not in it for the beat anymore. They're not even in it for the science that's going into the bars. They're only listening to the syrupy nursery rhymes of the quote unquote bridge and the hook. So those are not even people who, it's almost like having an eatery. We Mr. Chow's and they Roy Rogers right now. So why would we even be having this conversation about that? They got to step up their eating habits. They got to step up their palate. You know what I mean? They have to step their palate up. There's people that's like, I don't listen to Griselda. That's an avant-garde type of sound. You have to be in a certain type of you have to have a certain taste. Some niggas eat dolphins and frog legs.
Dolphin me, dude. But yo, not to interrupt, Sister Amina, I would love to hear your music too. I'm definitely intrigued. To definitely send me my Instagram is @Cambada Music. I'm always looking to hear. We've been talking about my music. Definitely looking to expand and meet new artists. I'm sure I'll be able to hear your stuff at the performance, but I was definitely your story was definitely intriguing. So I'd love to hear how that translates musically. And I thank Red and Blue for, always giving me inspiration and motivation for this. And, we're going to work. We got some special stuff with Red. We've been working on his album for, I don't know how long. While we was finishing up LSD, we started on that. So we got a long trail to go.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, but I actually have to get a little.
It is really a
tummy pregnant,
blessing and a real honor.
Thank you.
So you want to leave us with some words of encouragement, Sister Amina?
Yeah.
Yes, see, my computer was kind of chopping up, so I think I missed like the last 30 seconds to a minute of what was happening, but I heard enough of what you said, Kambada, to just say one. I've been hearing about you from Red and
That's right. Them gremlins is on her back, but we got her. She gonna be all right.
Yeah, man.
I look forward, like I said, I look forward to this date coming up on the 30th. There's somebody in the chat room that said that they want you to do a lecture on LSD. I guess the album and the actual molecules.
Got you.
So,
Yeah, let's get on. We'll follow up and we'll discuss the arrangements and the details and the mechanics, and we'll get into the antics.
That's right. Amina, you back with us? There you go. Where you at?
Yes, I'm back.
They got you like Empire. They got you like Han Solo. They got you frozen like Empire Strikes Back.
They cutting your time like a cell phone.
Somebody chewing on your 5G tower.
Gotta take this connection from get over. Well,
what you were saying though, like it literally the last thing it said was, yeah. So Cambada,
it can't work. It can't work. I'm like, yo, this is crazy, but
you might have to mail in the ballot. We might have to have her do a mail-in ballot. Just write in what you want to say. We're gonna read it online.
Look, we'll have plenty of time to talk and plenty of blackboard and chalk. So
that's right. What song do you want us to end this on tonight? What song should we end this? We've been opening up with 24 hours, so you get to make this choice.
Horus, then Son of Horus. I mean,
okay.
Son of Horus, man. It's like
All right, Son of Horus.
Son of Horus is hot like my mother's porridge. You know, got to get my gun out storage.
It's a lot of people that love that Michael Jackson.
Yeah, play Michael Jackson. You know, I love to see the the slight reactions.
Okay. Well, let me get the Michael Jackson animated one. I like that with the lyrics.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So for the family, if you never heard this album, what we're going to be doing tonight is we're going to give you the opportunity to have an experience, right? You could check this out. Go on a YouTube playlist. I really don't promote YouTube playlists, but in this instant, you could listen to the LSD album via YouTube or Spotify or Apple Music, but definitely tap into the whole project. It's best when listened to with mushrooms. That shit is This is a psychedelic album. It's almost like watching a movie with this made for 3D without the 3D glasses.
Yeah, that's where the duality comes. You're gonna have that.
Yeah, you see some shit, you see a film on it, you like, what's that? Why? And then when you put the 3D glasses on, the shit we used to get from 7-Eleven. Remember they used to have the shark movies? They used to have the movies. There's 3D movie coming out tonight. And then you get the glasses from 7-Eleven and you be in the crib like, Mom, turn it on.
For sure, man. Yeah, it's you know how it is, man. You know what we're doing. I'm trying to just bend this. I'm trying to get as much as I can out, man. But the most abstract. I'm a madman, essentially. You know, it's cloaked in pretty rose petals, but essentially, man, I'm somebody who is borderline. You know, it's like something's going on in there, but I can pull out the most. You know, I could pull out the weird things and make them a little shiny and understandable.
Right. Sister Amina, you're back with us, beloved.
I'm back with y'all. I think I probably got the record for the most time getting dropped off during live.
Nah, you good. It's because your energy is lit. I said to Cam that we're gonna let you do a mail-in ballot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just gonna let you write whatever you wanted to say and mail it in through the UPS. The U.S. Postal Service, a mail-in ballot, because they keep knocking you down. But leave us with some energy.
They taking my sword machines, y'all.
That's right. Let the family know what it is before we check out tonight.
Well, from ghetto to goddess, it's time that we rock it. I'm calling my offset. Neb het sekamet. Goddess is the set. My mind be on. And if you thinking it's blasphemy, sorry, you're wrong. I'm seeing God through my own race. I'm in a divine place. God through my own race. I'm in a divine place. I ain't believing no pie in the sky. I'ma wake up and live. I know the most high. Let's go to another level. Get more ancestral. Give thanks for how we living and be forgiven for the things we didn't know or didn't show. Give thanks for progress. Miracles, get more intuitive, spiritual, make our prayers every day more literal. So rock with me like from ghetto to goddess, 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 ghetto to goddess. Ghetto to God. Oh, Ashe.
I'm loving the frequencies. That was fire. That came out of nowhere too.
That flow.
Yeah.
I remember Scarface. I think it was I never seen a man cry until I seen that man die. Like that
they used to play the heck out of that out here on the radio. Still do. Dang, I didn't put two and two together.
Okay, you come with that Black Dre, Town Business. Yeah, Town Business. You know what I'm talking about? We could crop to that.
We do not. That's LA. I got love for LA, but that's
okay.
down there. We go dumb. Well, we were going dumb, and we hyphy up here. They crumping in LA. They
I'm growing my locks just for that. That's why I'm growing my locks. So I can go dumb. So, like I said to the family, we look forward to meeting all of you in real life, or we look forward to seeing y'all on the live stream when we doing our magic on August 30th. Tap in and tune in. You're gonna see this energy re-represented in Atlanta, and on September 11th, really tap in. You're gonna see this energy represented in a performance state. We're gonna be turning into our avatars. We're gonna be getting into our superhero selves and performing for y'all. Yes, putting on that ski mask, and we can't, think carnival. Especially when I mean to get on the stage. Think carnival, right? Think Kundalini rising.
That carnival, that carnal evil.
That's right. We're gonna turn up. We're gonna leave us tonight with a song by Kambada called Michael Jackson, off of the LSD project. All right. Yes, indeed.
Thank you, LSD Kambada. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
let's go. Yes, I just want to thank y'all, Red Pill, Blue Pill, for always keeping it real.
That's right.
Shout out your mama Pill. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Lift her up.
Thank you for even saying that.
From another mother, but she's definitely, an extended mama to me and many people in the community. So just gotta lift everybody up. Gotta bless you up, Kambada. I've been hearing so much great things about you, and your music that I have heard is very dope, very amazing. I will look forward to experiencing my first LSD trip.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, that's lots of mysteries in the granddaddy's attic.
Well,
so yeah, peace. I think we're about to play a song, right?
Yeah, this is Mama Pill on IG. She just launched her product, her IG page for her product line, Greenleaf Herbals. Yes, make sure y'all go follow her. She's gonna be turning up on social media. We convinced her to get on the Instagrams.
She's turned in real life, so
she's turned. I'm trying to explain to y'all. That's fact. She is turned in real life. I don't even think they be understanding how turned Mama Pill get.
She turned up like the squash. She turned up like the squash.
They don't know.
They think that I'm an isolated incident. They think the Red Pill's turn up is isolated. I'm trying to let y'all understand that I'm attached to her energy, and that energy is Mama Pill.
You're the apple, she the apple tree, So
that's a super fact. That's a super fact.
Yeah.
All right, yo. LSD, this is Michael Jackson. Let's tap in. Let's get it. All right.
Oh, Shimon.
Love and light to the family.
I don't think it's playing. I don't hear anything.
The audio is not playing.
That audio not playing, yo.
The audio is not playing. The video looks like it's playing.
Oh yeah, hold on.
Let that black boy sing. Let that.
You can't hear the audio?
Let grandma's baby sing.
You couldn't hear the audio though?
Man.
Oh, snappers.
We saw was
Oh, snappers. Let me see something.
you know.
All right. Can you hear it now?
Nah.
Interesting. Let me see why that is.
Interesting. Internal resting.
Look, you talk about all the internet trolls getting to me. Now look at you, brother. Now look what's going on.
I wonder why that is. Let me see. Could it be the copyright?
Maybe the striking line. I think there's try a second video link. Try a second video link because it's on more than one page.
All right, hold on. Let me see something. Can you hear it now?
No, sir.
Is it something in the controls to put audio to video or something?
Try it with a different song and see if it's just happening to me. Could I do it from my side? Somebody said about us to do it. I'm gonna try it from my side. Hold on.
Okay.
Let me see. Let me see now.
Let me share.
I'm gonna give y'all some positive energy on my beautiful crystal bowl as we are.
Oh, share. Is it just me? Man. Okay. Screen share. Hold on, man. I think nah, I think it's not letting me hear shit either, man. We could just I guess we could just tell people to do their own private research.
Right. Can you put the link in the chat? Just tell everybody, you know.
Yeah.
Up.
I could do that, but I wanted to rock out with the
share,
family.
subscribe.
But hold on now.
I want to rock out with the family. Somebody said it's on, but not loud.
I don't hear it at all. Maybe my brother Kambada, I just saw a comment. Maybe you just wanted to spit your hot 16 from that song on the way out, brother.
Hold on. Y'all trying to turn this into Lyricist Lounge.
Too late. 3 hours and 47 minutes in. We passed that.
We passed that. Did you say you could share your screen, Cam? Could you pull it up? Will you share the screen?
Let me see. Screen share. Allow audio. Hold on. Share audio. Some screens allow you. Okay. You know, I'm gonna share screen. Share. Touch screen. Yeah. Share. I'm trying to share. Application window. Share. Nope. Chrome tag. Share. Nope.
Somebody said they hear it. Maybe it's just us. I don't know.
Maybe they might be hearing the
They said they hit a bell.
Hear the bell. They hear the bell. You can ring my bell. Yeah, man. My voice is out. But yeah, nah, it's not gonna work. They're gonna keep tagging you because of copyright, man. That's what it is.
Oh.
I don't know what it is, man.
You know what it is? Watch. If I do LSD, it might not be the same.
Is it working with anything? Can you just press like something that's not something that's music and see?
That's what I'm saying.
Nah, it doesn't.
You're not hearing that?
Nah.
I don't know. That's some new shit.
Yeah, you know, YouTube, they be throwing the red flags in, you know.
We open 24 hours and you can hear 24 hours.
Damn.
Yeah. Well, it's all good. You know, the ancestors is like, you know what? We're gonna let y'all end on a note with no music, with that freestyle. That's good enough.
Yeah, man.
You know,
that's all we needed.
That's all we needed.
You know, yeah, but it's. My name is Michael Jackson, the perfect mix of white and black skin, nose carved by the finest craftsmen, moonwalk across ice and aspen, modern Christ of Nazareth, beyond anything the mind imagined. My name is Michael Jackson. Golden shoulder pads on shiny jackets, diamond brightling, blinding when the lights are flashing, while fashion matching. Back when, remember the time was platinum, like Aladdin when his wife was Jasmine. She looked like Michael Jackson. Are these bones in my face or some type of plastic? I named my son Blanket, because when he was born, that's what it was tightly wrapped in. Stories never end, and I feel like Sebastian, but more like Michael Jackson. Man's body that a child's trapped in. Instead of playing this most likely practice, Joseph hit me with a violent thrashing. Workers like we addict spirits, stifle stagnant. Daddy, I ain't faggot. Give a kid a hug. People think I'm trying to grab them, call it pedophiles actions, but I'm just Michael Jackson. Asexual, inside retracted. Suppressed libido shifts to high mind synaptic. Space-time collapsing, spinning like a cyclone, twisting like a spiral traveling. And I'm not spinning like a cradle to a righteous Catholic. You know, that's just a couple bars for the stars. Whether you're in war or on Mars. Thank you.
Hit that bowl. Hit that bowl.
Hit that bowl. The 7 bowls of God. Those are the plays. They crack it like eggs. You know, I ain't too proud to beg.
That's right. That's right. So there y'all have a live performance from the God. You know what I mean? Hold on. Let me leave this Cash App for Red and Blue. Matter of fact, what's your Cash App? Let me put your Cash App down because our people are very generous.
Chapstick, dude. Instead of wearing chapstick, I wear chapstick.
What's your Cash App, Cam? Because I know there's some people that want to send you some tips for listening to that album and you know the good feeling that it gave them.
Yeah, it's is there a way I could type it in?
I could type it for you.
$sign CAMERON. Hold on, I'm going into the private chat with you. I just sent it there.
All right.
It's $CAMERON CARBONE. Cameron Carbone. Cameron, like spelled not camera. CAMERON, and then Carbone is like car and bone.
I got you.
And then it's just Cameron Carbone, and this money is not spent on bad things so I can live. Continue to like say crazy things on songs that entertain me. So
I mean, I got you. What's yours, Amina?
I believe mine is Sister Imina. It's either Sister Imina or $ It's the Imina. I forget. I don't want to try to look it up and mess up. If you type in Sister Imina, it should be right up in that thing. You could just hit that bling bling.
We don't want to send the Cash App to the wrong sister.
That part.
It'd be Sister Amina and Wakanda getting your money.
I will come snatch that back too. Straight.
Well, straight. We're gonna put that Cash App money on another mic and a router. You know what I'm talking about? And we're gonna get right. I'm bringing you back though before our event on Sunday. We're gonna do this again. We're gonna do one more show. I want Amina. I might even bring another sister on board, so we can have some more divine feminine energy in the building. I like the balance. You know what I'm talking about, and I like the conversation. I like where it's going. It's a healthy conversation. We need to hear more of it. We need to dive and delve into each other's affairs you know, we need to pull back the curtains and be transparent in the 2020 year. I'm not waiting for CNN or Fox 5 or Vice News to be transparent and to peel back. I'm going to do my own level of journalism. I'm going to do my own reporting. I want to be proactive and being in the energy of 2020. So we're going to do our own exploration into the inner caverns of, you know, our hearts and our affairs and our minds and whatnot, so we could get to healing. Because I know beyond a reasonable doubt that some sisters, many people, sisters and brothers, got some healing and some consoling tonight by listening to the story of redemption and the story of transformation and the story of growth and development that not only you share, Sister Amina, but we all share it, because we all come from somewhere. If you listen to Cam's music, he's speaking about transformation. He's speaking about translating pain into joy and whatnot. And, you know, some of the journeys that many of us have gone through, and he's articulating it. So, you know, I just want to say thanks once again. I look forward to what we got coming up in Atlanta. I want the people that's feeling this conversation to show your support by buying the tickets. I want to show the brothers and sisters who I have on this panel tonight that I support them. So this is a reciprocation thing. I'm telling them that y'all got love for them. So y'all got to show them that y'all got love for them by getting these tickets and promoting and supporting our music and our science, our arts and our sciences. It's not just one thing to respect a person's science, but we're going to introduce you to the arts as well. And like Erykah Badu said, you know how I feel about my art, you know.
Yo, peace, man. I thank you guys. I'll speak to you soon, man. Have a good night, man. We're going to chop it up like onions. Let's do it.
Right. Love and light, y'all.
Peace and love.
Blue pillar.
Peace.
All right. No
Blue.
doubt. Yes, yes. Brr. All right, y'all. I'll catch up. All right. We'll see you on Monday.